After receiving the scroll, Yunwu hesitated for a moment and finally said, "The dead are gone. I'm sorry." That Song Xie paused for a moment, and his eyes were a little darker. He said in a deep voice, "This place and I should have left long ago. It's just a box of obsession in reading ice. There's no need to worry." Cloud Dance nods. Also no much say useless. Turn round to pull the hand of Dragon Qing Evil. Two people walk toward entrance together. As soon as I stepped out of the place, I felt the same strength as before. At the same time, something came crashing behind. When you turn your head, you can see a little white light coming out of the hole, which is the same as when Yinbing disappeared. There is a sigh in your ear. The rest of the way is for you to explore by yourself. Remember not to act rashly. Cloud Dance turns to look at Dragon Qing Xie. His eyes are full of meditation. He can't help but ask, "What's the matter with you?" The little beast, does it seem to have something to do with Yinbing? By the dragon poor evil so say. Cloud Dance just suddenly think of has been nest in her arms motionless little beast. At the moment, frowning and putting Jin Bao in his hand, he asked, "What's the matter with you?" "Woo." Jin Bao whimpered and covered his eyes with his paws. Cloud Dance eyes can only put this stubborn little guy on the shoulder. In front of my eyes, I suddenly twisted, the soft power disappeared, and the touch under my feet became hard again. But when Yunwu was still in the future and focused on his vision, he had already seen a fireball in front of him, and his body was light. He was pulled into his arms by the dragon's evil spirit and hid beside him. Bang! The fireball banged on the wall, making a loud noise and splashing gravel. "You came out alive. Don't you hand in the site map?" It's a familiar voice. Yunwu looks at it. I saw an old man with white beard and a Chinese robe standing at the entrance of the cave. His eyes were full of madness, and there were 3 or 4 young people standing beside him. It turned out that you, the old man, had brought it to the door by yourself. The old man was no one else. He was the one who ran away from the 5-star meeting last time. With a sneer, Long Qingxie let go of Yunwu and took the first 2 steps. His eyes were full of coldness. "If you haven't finished the fight last time, it's better to end it together this time." "Well, little maniac, you are so rude. I'll teach you how to be a man." The old man's eyes were gloomy. His hands were like claws, and his whole body was full of strong elements. Everywhere he went, there was a gust of wind. Every step he took on the rock under his feet was a few cracks. In a short period of time, how powerful has it been? Dragon Qingxie's eyes sank, and he dodged away without any hard touch. After turning his hand, he suddenly held an épée in his hand and waved it horizontally to bring a cold wind. Unexpectedly, the old man was also cautious. After holding the épée, Yuanli gathered a fireball with his other hand and threw it at the dragon. It was close at hand and could not be avoided. It's between the lightning and the flint. I saw that the fire, which was like a dragon, was suddenly wrapped by a mass of water elements. When the water and fire collided, it gave out a hiss and disappeared, and the white fog dispersed. "Old man, have you forgotten that I'm still here?" The cloud dances the corner of the mouth cold outline. In the eye ground is that extremely cold kill idea. However, at the end of her speech, the corner of her eye glanced at the 3 people who wanted to step forward at the hole beside her, but they were afraid of something. Also brought a helper. However, it seems to be timid. "Well, what an arrogant girl. Today I will kill you and sacrifice my poor son with blood," the master of the branch rudder roared, and turned to stare at the 3 men who were dawdling at the door. "What are you waiting for? Don't you hurry to help." By the fury of the rudder master, the 3 men had no choice but to grasp their weapons and go forward to surround them. "The 3 will be yours, and the old man will let me solve them myself," Long Qingxie said calmly, flashed out from behind Yunwu, and hit the old man directly. Cloud Dance didn't make a sound, but instead put his eyes on the 3 trembling people, with a sneer on his lips, and said, "What are you waiting for? Why don't we live a little longer together?" The 3 men looked at each other and felt a little humiliated. There was a trace of cruelty in their eyes. Now this situation, let alone can escape, even death, they have to bite their teeth too. At the moment, they stood in a row, holding the weapon tightly in their hands. Long Qingxia was already fighting with the old man, and they were fighting like a raging fire, but a layer of cold sweat slowly spilled over their back. Although there may be a branch rudder master, they will not be miserable, but now they can't afford to go. Now, I have to fight hard. The first one clenched his teeth with a low roar. He took the lead in attacking the clouds with 3 water arrows, and the wind came at his feet. Almost in an instant, he was about to arrive at Yunwu. When the other 2 saw this, they ignored the others and went up with tacit understanding. It can be said that you are looking for your own death. With a smile and a wave of his hand, the ancient sword appeared in his hand. It rolled up the mat with a burning fire. It blocked the water arrow and burned the leader's arm. However, other people's attack, but also extremely fast attack, Cloud Dance had to quickly dodge. The fireball of the wind blade bombed the ground, blowing up a piece of gravel. Yunwu rushed out of the dust, and a fierce color flashed in his eyes. The fire on the ancient sword in his hand was very strong, and the head of Jitsu was on his head. With a murmur of Cloud Dance, the fragile person is vulnerable in front of the sharp ancient martial arts sword. Poof! Blood splashed. The head fell on the ground, grunting for 2 circles, quietly out of a pool of blood in place. The headless corpse was stiff in place for a while, then fell to the ground. Wipe off the bloodstains splashed on his face, and a bloodthirsty, killing intention flashed in Yunwu's eyes. The other 2 people saw this scene and were shocked for a moment. Then they could not help stepping back and looking at each other. Soon, they took out a pill from their arms and swallowed it with solemn and stirring expression, and suddenly their momentum soared. It's the old thing again? Cloud Dance frowns, looking at the 2 people desperate look, also played a vigilant heart. Previously, she was hurt by that person because she was not on guard. Now, if she knows that her power is still hurt by him, it would be a shame. After swallowing the pill, the breath of the 2 men was obviously elevated. Quick fix. Goods. As soon as the conversation was over, the 2 of them showed their determination to win. They rushed left and right, so fast that they even attacked Yunwu with residual shadow. Yunwu has already been on guard. He doesn't dare to touch it. He dodges. He weighs it in his heart and calls Lan Yu out. Lan Yu, don't keep your hands. Yes, at the moment when Lan Yu came out, the breath in the air dropped sharply. After he answered, he saw a blue light around him. The blue light seemed soft and harmless, but somehow, it made the 2 people feel extremely taboo. That's a contract beast. What's more, the style of Cloud Dance is too weird. It's well known that there are endless moves, and they have to guard against them. In the left and right dodge, Cloud Dance will not just stand in the same place and watch, waving the ancient sword, forcing them into the corner again and again. At that moment, the blue light of Lan Yu suddenly turned into countless cold blades and attacked them. Flash! One man saw this, almost breathed out in horror. But the other man still couldn't dodge, and was stabbed into his arm by the blade, and the blade turned into a blue color at that moment, straight from his wound. At that moment, his arm was frozen. The man's startled look is still at the bottom of his eyes, but the corner of his mouth is pulling up a smile arc like ice. Blast! A word gently, kabang, a small sound of fragmentation. An explosion followed. I'm stunned. The man who saw his arm with his own eyes and was blown up in this way, the panic in his eyes completely stopped. A moment, when a severe pain suddenly hit his nerve, the tearing scream suddenly raised. Ah. Lan Yu seems very satisfied to see this scene. Hands a buckle, a blue water ball suddenly toward the scream of the man. The man's face was pale, and he almost reached out to resist. However, the water ball, which was only the size of his fist, suddenly expanded. In the twinkling of an eye, he wrapped the whole person in a piece of blue water. This seems to be a surprise to anyone. Wu, just like drowning, the man's eyeballs burst out, and there were bubbles overflowing from it. The remaining hand kept scratching the water wall and struggling to get out of the water prison, but it didn't help. This blue Yu, originally cold and simple temperament, seems to have become evil. What kind of master? What kind of example? Yunwu glanced at the corners of his eyes, outlined the corners of his mouth, clenched his fingers, and lifted the knife. When the medicine was over, and without the help of his companion, the remaining man was pale and frightened. Under the support of hard work, he fell into a bad situation without 2 moves. After that, he was killed directly by Yunwu, and the man who was left in the water prison also twitched twice and lost his breath. Here is the solution. Yunwu finally has time to look up and see what's going on there. But see, Dragon Qing Evil is still in confrontation with that Sen helmsman. 2 people seem to have some hang color. But the rudder master was even more embarrassed. His clothes were broken in many places, and his hair was in a mess. It seemed that he was unable to breathe after him. The old man said that he wanted to avenge his son. Now it seems that he can only go to Jiuquan to accompany him for comfort. Long Qingxia's handsome and evil face outlined a slight radiance of ridicule, and his tone was quite arrogant. After hearing this, the branch master changed his face and gritted his teeth and said, "Don't be proud too soon, arrogant boy." After that, the palm of the hand was down, and 2 sentences were read in the mouth. Then the ground vibrated, and a cobweb-like crack appeared under the center of the rudder master, which spread everywhere. Yunwu's eyes sank. It seemed that the old man was ready to make a big move. As soon as his figure flashed, he came to Long Qingxia and stood with him. "Are you okay?" Long Qingxia shook his head and reached out to wipe some dust off his face. "Well, today we can't let the old thief run away, or there will be endless trouble." Cloud Dance nods. This matter Long Qing Evil doesn't say she also knows. As time went on, the shaking of the ground became more and more intense. Even began to fall from the top of his head. A lot of gravel hit the ground and splash. And the things under the old branch leader finally began to show up. An arch-shaped thing came out of the ground crack. With the expansion of the crack, it gradually revealed the whole picture. It was a shiny black shell, and a pair of long tentacles swayed left and right. Under the carapace are hundreds of pairs of thick feet, dense, a pair of small eyes hidden under the antennae, and below are shiny tusks. Millipede? Cloud Dance slowly spits out the name of the object. Eyes become more dignified. The message given in the dragon scroll is that millipedes can never die, and their bodies are hard and self-healing. The so-called dead, but not rigid, means that they can recover as long as they are not thoroughly crushed and given some time. Unexpectedly, the 5-Star Club's branch leader also raised this kind of warcraft. Haha, little doll still has some insight. Today I will sacrifice my baby with your flesh and blood. The master of the branch rudder is standing on the top of the head of the 1,000-legged insect, staring at the Cloud Dance and the dragon. And the body of the millipede is finally revealed, and it's sitting on the ground. The dense and constantly wriggling feet make people feel creepy at a glance. Isn't this old thief from the 5-Star Club? When did you know how to control animals? Cloud Dance frowns, always feel there is something wrong. It seems obvious that the 5-Star Club has colluded with the Beast Gate for a long time. Now it seems to be true. Long Qingxia explained in a low voice, but he was also on guard. There were too many tricks of the branch leader, so he had to guard against them. Then be careful. Cloud Dance low drinks a lift knife to come forward. The dead fire suddenly expands. The air is twisted by the scorching temperature, cut down with the intention of killing. The millipede didn't hide, but twisted slightly. When the sword fell on the shell, it made a sound of dang, leaving no trace on it. However, Yunwu was shocked and fell to the ground, retreating 2 steps, numbing the mouth of the tiger. "Ha ha ha! Little doll, with your knife, you can't hurt my precious little bit. It's very interesting to take a bug as a treasure, sir." Cloud Dance sneers and retorts. Before the words were heard, the insect suddenly twisted its body and rushed towards Yunwu. A pair of tusks opened and closed, just allowing Yunwu to see the pair of teeth exposed inside. They spread all over the mouth, wriggling with mucus, which made Yunwu feel sick. Be careful. Dragon Qing Evil flies forward. A black light hits in the soft meat of the exposed mouth, One hand catches the body of Cloud Dance and quickly retreats. The millipede suffered from eating pain, and the mucus mixed with blood flowed out of his mouth, which made him paste a large area. While his body was twisting, he was still in constant pain and hissing, and his small eyes were full of poison. Yunwu leans against the evil arms of the dragon, and his eyes are fixed on any part of the insect's body, trying to find the place where he can kill it. "Are you all right?" After landing, Long Qingxie couldn't care about his embarrassment and looked up and down to see if Yunwu had any injuries. Yunwu shook his head and said, "This place is not good for us. Let it out first." Long Qingxie nodded, although the cave is not small. "But if you fight with a 1,000-legged insect, I'm afraid you can't even find a place to escape. Look at each other Cloud Dance in place." Long Qingxie came forward, but he was the branch helmsman of Jitsu Qianzikong. In an accident, the branch helmsman stepped back and clapped his hand on Qianzikong. The 1,000-foot insect eats the pain and hisses. But the man behind him is his own master. He has to vent his anger on the dragon Qingxie in front of him. "Open your mouth and take your body forward quickly." The dragon dodged, and a wind blade hit the shell. Unexpectedly, there was no damage. On the contrary, it completely angered the millipede, roared and squirmed more quickly. In the middle of the dragon's arms, the dragon flies out of the cave. The cloud dances to fall on the 1,000-foot insect body. Gather Yuanli in the hand, clap, a loud noise. That black crustacean is still shiny smooth. Even a crack has not appeared. Cloud Dance in the heart, secretly surprised. That 1,000-foot insect's head suddenly turned direction. Twist body toward Cloud Dance place bite. Although the body is heavy, but the movement is extremely flexible. Yunwu couldn't dodge. When he was hit by the hammer, he felt that his chest was hit by a hammer. His blood gushed, and he coughed up a mouthful of blood. He patted his palm on his head, but he didn't care to wipe the blood from the corner of his mouth and rushed out of the cave. Long Qingxie has been waiting outside for a long time. See Cloud Dance, so frown, but also have no time to say what behind is a burst of roar. Originally is that 1,000-feet insect also followed closely. Long Qingxie catches the unbalanced Cloud Dance and jumps down according to the previously optimistic route, hearing the wind. It didn't stop until it entered a forest. But at this time, the ear came the exclamation of Cloud Dance. "Where is Jin Bao?" Long Qingxie's action, looking back, saw Cloud Dance frowning, face a little flustered. "Don't worry. Maybe you're hiding?" Yunwu frowned and looked up at the mountain. The 1,000-legged insects had followed them down and knocked down the surrounding trees. Even if Jin Baojin was in any danger, I'm afraid she was too weak to rescue. Just before still in his arms to stay a good treasure. How can suddenly disappeared? Time does not allow us to think about it. In the blink of an eye, the 1,000-legged insect has arrived in front of us. He stands up high and presses it down. If he is hit, I'm afraid he will have to turn into a meat cake. The two escaped separately, but at the same time, they found the weakness of millipede. The body covered by the carapace is invulnerable, but the abdomen is soft. With a little effort, it can be rifled. After finding the way to deal with it, Yunwu nods to the dragon, forcefully presses down the tumbling of his chest, and flies forward, trying to get millipedes to show their soft belly again. Unexpectedly, the 1,000-legged insect seems to have seen through their plans. No matter how Cloud Dance tosses, they are stubborn and refuse to show their abdomen. So down, the cloud is panting, but the millipede is still at ease. "This guy, he's really good." The Cloud Dance in the heart belly foot constantly change position. Avoid that 1,000-feet insect, just like not want to die of general collision. See two people have some tired. This guy is not hurt a bit, and the heart can't help but some anxious. This one was impatient, and he lost his square inch under his feet. He was hit by the 1,000-foot insect. If it's the feeling of Cloud Dance at this time, it's about experiencing what flying man is in the air. But the cost of this flight is really a little high. Little dance. Long Qingxie's eyes are cold. He gives up the chance to hit the 1,000-foot insect's mouth. He rushes to Yunwu and catches Yunwu before she falls to the ground. His face is gloomy. "Are you all right?" Cough, cough. Even if he was caught by Dragon Qingxie in time, Yunwu was still very hurt. His face was pale, and he was biting his teeth to look at the thousand-legged insect. It's okay, but it won't easily expose the abdomen. To make sure that Cloud Dance is okay, Long Qingxie is relieved. After a moment's silence, the dragon just wanted the thousand-legged insect to stick to the ground's abdomen. His eyes moved, and he whispered a few words in the Cloud Dancing ear. See Cloud Dance in the eye once crossed a silk surprised, then smile away. Really have you so do. Dragon Qingxie takes Yunwu to a tree strong enough. After placing it safely, he turns around and falls on the millipede. The blade in his hand is inlaid in the gap of the crustacean. No matter how the millipede twists, it can't fall down. For a long time, the millipede actually had some signs of anger, and the body wriggled more and more violently. The Cloud dances in the tree, eyes staring at the ground, lips wriggling gently, reciting something in the mouth. The millipede kept twisting, but the smooth crustacean on its body slowly gave birth to a layer of barbs. Long Qingxie's face became more and more ugly. He controlled his body to avoid the barbs. It's just that after a long time, it's hard to avoid abrasions, and the barbs are getting longer and longer. Before the barb, there were small thorns and hooks all over the body. Before Long Qingxie's meeting, many wounds were cut out, and the wound was slightly black. The barb was poisonous. As Long Qingxie's face became more and more ugly, his lips were slightly black, and his body was more unstable than before, just like a vicious circle, with more and more wounds. Yunwu can't help clenching her fists. The thick leaves on the ground were stirred up, floated up, fell on the millipede, and fell down again. The thousand-legged insect seems to know that the dragon's evil spirit on its body is about to be unable to hold on, and its body turns more and more warm, even occasionally with an excited roar. Not far below the leaves slightly raised, I do not know what is hidden. In the Cloud Dance on the tree, she is worried, but she can only do her own things with patience. Yuan Li's overdraft makes her face pale. After about half a stick of incense, when Yunwu was finally ready and his eyes fell on the back of the thousand-legged insect, he suddenly found that at this time, the dragon was almost on his own support. His body was constantly shaken, and he could fall down and be crushed at any time. Dragon, ahead after listening to the voice of Cloud Dance, there was a trace of consciousness in the eyes of Dragon Qingxie. Then he pulled out the blade and patted it on the back of the millipede. His body rose and fell not far ahead. He took 2 more steps and leaned against the tree trunk. He had no strength to move another point. Seeing that the man who wanted to kill himself had got rid of him, the thousand-footed insect could not help but get angry from his heart. Hiss! Hissing a then, without hesitation, a forward rushed past, Abuse's huge body across the ground, with a burst of flying leaves. But suddenly, I felt a sharp pain in my abdomen. With a long cry, I could not keep my body moving forward and rushed straight to the dragon. It seems that the heart is determined to let the dragon poor evil pay the price, in general, in a short time because of pain and slow body, soon enough to add horsepower forward, leaving behind a winding bloodstain, emitting bursts of fishy smell. The ice blade hidden under the fallen leaves also shows up, dipped in bright red and shining cold light. Cloud Dance Eyes Cold Shun did not expect that this insect was so deadly, expected to follow the weak did not appear. Seeing that Long Qingxie was about to be hit, but he couldn't dodge. Yunwu's pupil contracted for a while, and he didn't hesitate to fly down and block in front of Long Qingxie. You're out of your mind. Go away. As soon as Dragon Qingxie saw Cloud Dance, his face changed and he roared. His eyes were full of anxiety. However, his body has been soaked with toxin. At this time, even if he wants to rush out to push Cloud Dance away, he can't mobilize his body in any part. I'm calm. Yunwu grits his teeth and looks at the thousand-legged insect. His body is tight, and his palm is suddenly patted on the ground. An ice wall appears in front of the thousand-legged insect. Hit it hard. Bang! Boom! The ice wall is broken. The thousand-foot insect's forward strength was finally broken up and stopped in front of the 2 people dying. Cloud Dance also, because of the broken ice wall, was backfired, coughing up a mouthful of blood, covering the chest, unsteady feet. The fierce millipede finally stopped, and the eyes the size of Mung being also lost their look, but the antennae and legs were still slightly trembling, and the air was full of rich, bloody smell. Yunwu takes a breath, turns around, and staggers to Longqingxi. He almost falls to the ground. His shaking hand pulls out a pill from his arms and feeds Longqingxi. Seeing that the black on the lips had faded a little, he found out the silver needle again. His hand trembled, and he couldn't find the acupoints. After swimming on the dragon's body for a long time, he bit his teeth and pricked it. The 3 needles fall, and the dragon pours out a mouthful of black blood. Yunwu quickly feeds him a pill. Seeing that Longqingxi's face is getting better, he is relieved. The silver needle pill is scattered all over the ground and can't pick it up. This time we're playing big. Cloud Dance half-jokingly looks at the dragon to pour evil, and the eye is not ugly that cry smile, not the facial expression. Neither of them had ever thought that the old man had such a big mace in his hand. He was too unprepared. "You're killing yourself." Dragon Qingxi gasps and looks at the Cloud Dance. He can't imagine what the Cloud Dance would be like if the insect just rushed over, but he knew that if something happened to Yunwu, he would regret it all his life. "I didn't expect you to make my 1,000-legged insect look like this." At this time, a familiar voice came. Yunwu and Longqing turned back fiercely with sharp eyes. Beside the body of the 1,000-legged insect stood the branch helmsman who had not known where he had gone not long ago, and in his hand was the dying treasure. "What did you do to it?" Yunwu stands up with Dragon Qingxi. His eyes are cold. "Ha ha ha. It seems that you don't know that the blood of this thing is a treasure besides opening the ruins." I saw that the rudder master was in a state of confusion before he disappeared. His face was full of red light, and he looked like he was in the most perfect state. What happened in that period of time? Cloud Dance gnashes teeth, looking at the proud branch commander, and the heart quickly calculate how to. At this time, both Shi and Longqingxi are exhausted, and it's not too much to say that they are at the end of the crossbow. But the old thief suddenly emerges. The 1,000-legged insect is still alive, and may revive at any time, and the little troublemaker Jinbao is still in the hands of the old thief, no matter how you think about it. Yunwu finds that her disadvantage is obvious to a certain extent. Can't you just let fate decide? No, it's not her style. With a cold look in his eyes, Yunwu suddenly burst out a murderous spirit, which made the commander of the branch stand in a daze. He stepped back 2 steps cautiously, holding Jinbao's neck tightly in his hand. "Yunwu, if you dare to move, I will eat it alive now." Maybe it was the rumor that Cloud Dance was in the lower world before that, which was so impressive among the 5-star club, that he had some taboos at this time. "Oh, such a rare treasure. Would you be willing to move more?" Longqingxi sneered and looked at the dying treasure with a cold light in his eyes. "If you can't control such a thing, it's better to kill the insurance," the master of the branch rudder said with a gloomy squint, but his hand was tight again. Yunwu saw that Jinbao's little body struggled twice, weak more like a twitch. A heart was pulled up, but his face was still. "What you want to do, you can say it directly. Why do you have to hide it so much?" Seeing the appearance of Cloud Dance, Longqingxi's heart was unswerving, and his voice sank a lot. Yunwu looked back at the man who was standing shoulder to shoulder with him. Suddenly, he felt more stable. He pursed his lips and pinched 2 pills in his hand. "Now, even if it is to fight for their lives, they can't stop here. Isn't it too much to lose? What I want is your life." The long face of the branch rudder sneered, and his heart was gnashing teeth. Now he should still remember how embarrassed he was when he fled from the dragon's evil sword that day. "It's just a joke." What a big tone. Dragon Qing evil cold hum. Chest still some dull pain, but can't defeat is sharp. Looking at such a dragon, the branch director could not help but cold on his back, and his eyes were more gloomy. This person absolutely can't stay. If grow up in time, will become a huge hidden danger. However, in the midst of the branch master's uneasiness, the dragon's evil spirit had already deceived him. Before leaving, Yunwu heard a whisper. Wait for me here. Bang! The after effect of the collision between the two sides makes Cloud dance unstable at his feet. He holds one side of the tree trunk and looks gloomy. Long Qingxie had just been detoxified and had not yet fully recovered. He ran into the branch leader in his heyday. There was no other possibility except defeat. What to do? Yunwu thinks quickly in her brain, but she can't catch a trace of Miao Duan. She is more worried. The back of Dragon's evil spirit is reflected in her eyes. At this time, she is barely supporting. Her forehead is blue and her eyes are red. When the commander of the branch took hold of the dying treasure, he did not forget to laugh at the dragon. Boy, I've been waiting long enough for this day. I'll treat you well. Is it? Long Qingxia's eyes became colder and colder. But they didn't find that the dragon's evil eyes were always on Jinbao. In the hands of Cloud Dance holding pills, hesitating in the heart whether or not to swallow. The dragon suddenly abandoned the long sword that had just been blocked by the branch leader. With a twist of his wrist, he caught his hand. Yuanli splashed out, forcing the branch leader's face to twist and had to let go. And Dragon Qing Evil is immediately will fall Jinbao into the arms, turned quickly back to Yunwu's side. Yunwu and the branch leader didn't react for a moment. Long Qingxie fought for his life for so long. Just to take Jinbao away? Put it away. I'll find a way to go later. If something happens, I'm not responsible for it. Long Qingxie chuckles, and his face is as evil as ever. Cloud Dance pauses for a moment, and when it reaches the soft treasure, it suddenly reacts to what the dragon has said. It can't help but soften in its heart. Don't be ridiculous. Cloud Dance frowned. To go together? What nonsense. However, Long Qingxie didn't look at Yunwu anymore. He rushed out of the room and didn't even have the chance to hesitate. Looking at the back like an arrow from the string, the cloud dances inexplicably. As soon as I draw my heart, my fist is clenched, and I feel a sense of determination. I am determined now. Turn around and jump into a big tree. Put Jinbao in an abandoned bird's nest with soft eyes. Stay here, little boy. Although they have only known Jinbao for a few days, Jinbao has saved her many times. Although they always cause trouble, they're surprisingly likable. He left her 2 bottles of medicine that could cure the spirit beast. When Yunwu turned around and fell to the ground, he stepped on the yellow and dry leaves on the ground and suddenly changed his soft momentum. In the blink of an eye, it's full of murderous spirit. Crushed the hands of the pill mixed, and then flexible 5 fingers were water droplets fusion, condensed into a new pill. Looking at the old man of the helmsman, Yunwu's eyes were cold, and he didn't hesitate to swallow the pills. His momentum soared. I want to see who died today, old man. Cloud Dance low drinks, a to rush forward to go. Stiffly will soon fall on Dragon Qing evil body of a palm doesn't slant. Gu Wu's broadsword suddenly appeared in his hand, and the fire came to his face. With the terrible temperature, he forced the rudder master to step back 2 steps, and the light was shining. Cloud Dance behind 2 light flash, suddenly appear blue Yu with white snow. Since swallowing Kylan fruit, Hongling and Xiaoqiu have been in deep sleep, which is why Yunwu has never called them. Master, as soon as Lan Yu and Bai Shuer appear, they call respectfully. However, the next second did not let Yunwu speak, and the 2 figures immediately attacked the main branch. I didn't let you go. The Cloud Dance suddenly appeared in front of the dragon, which made him feel angry. His voice was low, and his eyes were cold and dripping out of the water. If you want to go, go together. If you don't, I'll accompany you. I can't allow my man to die like this, even if it's her who died here. Just as words Cloud danced and say, Long Qing evil eyes have become enough dangerous. Who said I would die here? Let's go. Do you think pills are sugar beans? You can eat them if you want. It's a waste if you don't have to eat it all. Cloud danced calmly a smile, stretch out a hand to point a few acupuncture points on the body of Long Qingxie. Unexpectedly, Long Qingxie is so stiff again in situ. It will be ready in half an hour. You should know that your woman is not weak, but also can protect herself and the people you love, darling. Wait for me here. The cloud dances with a smile, turns around, and carries the ancient martial arts broadsword to walk toward the branch rudder master, who is devoid of skills. Every step carries the extremely cold, murderous gas. Long Qingxie just looked at Cloud Dance's back, but he couldn't speak and move. The anger in his eyes almost spurted out, which was useless. However, the Cloud Dance this person nature can't have no assurance of hand. Hi-oh, do you want to watch me hang up and not come out yet? Cloud Dance, extremely depressed heart bottom opening. And at that sound, I saw the dark shadow in the chaos hall silent for a while, then quietly appeared in front of the clouds. A mass of fog like body hazy. It is not true to see. You were willing to come out. I thought you had forgotten your contract. Since the upper bound, Black Pride is very quiet. It's really difficult for Yunwu to understand, but she doesn't ask for it, so she won't call him if she doesn't have to. However, when he just faced the thousand-legged insect, he had no intention to help. Otherwise, how could he make them so embarrassed? It's really depressing for Yunwu. If you die, what's in it for me? However, since I was in prison last time, my strength has not been restored. After I come out, my strength will be greatly reduced by half. When Hyo finished speaking, he would not speak anymore. He brushed his body to join the scuffle, and his black body flickered, just like a ghost. With the sudden addition of Cloud Dance, even the branch helmsman in his heyday could not support himself. After all, a hero is hard to beat 4 fists. What's more, there's the black fog. What the hell is that? Why does he feel that power so familiar? However, at this time, there was no time for him to think about it. There was a trace of fierce color in the eyes of the branch rudder master. He patted the tree with one hand and retreated. At the same time, the trunk broke and the tree fell down immediately. Cloud Dance and others had to avoid, that is, this gap. The main rudder turned over and stood on the body of the millipede. The 1,000-foot insect is not completely dead at this time, and its body will twitch from time to time. When he saw the old man turning over, Yunwu's pupil shrank and gave an order. Stop him. It's too late. Then the old man laughed and pressed his hand on the top of the 1,000-legged insect's head. The palm of his hand sent out a burst of white light, forcing Yunwu and others to retreat. And the power of attacking was blocked by the strange white light. It's the power of the 5-star society to protect and repair. It's a top-secret skill. I can't break it with my current power. Black Proud Voice said a deep voice. Yunwu's face is very ugly. If that millipede recovers, it's really tricky. But at this moment, it must have been too late to stop, so she had to find a way to solve it as soon as possible. The millipede is also a warcraft with wisdom. That is to say, with the first lesson, it must be no longer possible to hide a sharp blade on the ground. But now I can't think of a suitable way. What should I do? Yunwu is biting her teeth. It's really bad that she knows it can't be like this, but she can only watch things happen. At this time, she would like to fly up and beat the old thief all over the floor. As the light in the master's hand became stronger, the body of the millipede began to have vitality. From the beginning of the slow twitch, until this time has actually begun to activity that countless long legs. Ha ha! The rudder master burst out laughing. Looking at the laughing old man, Yunwu's eyes were gloomy. Damn it! At this time, the millipede has completely recovered its vitality, shaking its head and tail, a pair of eyes the size of mung beans staring at the clouds, full of poison. An animal with such a humanized look will not become an adult. Cloud Dance sneers, knowing that the guy can understand. I saw that the evil in the eyes of the 1,000-legged insect was getting deeper and deeper. Even Yunwu had no doubt that if there was no command from the commander, this guy would rush out immediately and grind himself into meat mud. But at this time, she was as good as Dragon Qingxie in her heyday. Why look down on her so much? The cloud dances lightly to smile. At that 1,000-feet insect move at the same time, single body carry knife to rush past. She really didn't believe it. It was just a big bug. She wanted to see what kind of spray the big bug could make. There was a trace of fierceness in his eyes. Yunwu's sword collided with the tusks of the 1,000-legged insect. Bang! Yuzhen is so strong that Yunwu's arm trembles slightly. Yunwu clenched his teeth, suddenly twisted his wrist, pulled the sword out of the huge pressure, and at the same time stepped back 2 steps, pursed his lips, and rushed straight to the mouth of the millipede. In addition to the abdomen's soft place was suddenly hit, millipede mouth issued a few coherent pain neighing. Eyes also become full of hatred, as if the next second will swallow the cloud alive. But Yunwu was laughing in her heart. She wanted to see what the big bug could do besides rushing around. At this time, the branch master suddenly said, "Girl, if you are willing to beg for mercy at this time, I may be able to help you keep a whole body. If you insist on this, I'm afraid haha." Yunwu raised her eyes to the branch leader, who had made a pretense of being profound. There was a trace of irony in her eyes, and she said in a loud voice, "People say that the 5 stars will be so brave and fierce, but it seems to me today that they are the gathering place of a group of arrogant people." The rudder master immediately changed his face, but immediately he gave a cold hum. "Arrogant young man, I will let you know what the 5-star club is today." The millipede gives out a hiss and swims to this side with its mouth wide open, as if ready to swallow Yunwu. When Yunwu dodges, Lan Yu, Bai Shuer, and Hayo cooperate with the tacit attack from 3 directions. Hiss! The millipede screamed repeatedly, and even the branch helmsman's face was so blue that he had to reach for the antennae of the millipede to stabilize his body. Long Qingxie was in the rear, watching the cloud dance shuttling under the 1,000-legged insect. His face became more and more gloomy. His heart seemed to be in his throat. He wanted to rush out now and pick up the bold woman. But now he can only break through the acupoints sealed by Cloud Dance as soon as possible. When Cloud Dance glides under the body of 1,000-foot insect again, the Long Qingxie's eyes are cold again. This asshole, just now, as long as Yunwu moves a little slower, even if he won't be pressed by the 1,000-foot insect, he will be stabbed by the barbs on his feet. But from the angle of Dragon, we can't see it. At this time, Yunwu's face is pale, his eyes are red, and the corner of his mouth has erased the blood from many times. She is on the verge of reaching the limit when her physical fitness is promoted to the peak by pills. But she can't fall. Yunwu looks back at the dragon Qingxie over there, and the corner of his mouth reluctantly pulls out a smile. When he looks back, his eyes are full of killing intention. If you can't get rid of this big bug, even the dragon will be in danger. Cloud Dance, you are at the end of the storm. Do you want to hold on now? The rudder master above the insect frowned and looked at the desperate Cloud Dance. Naturally, he was not distressed, just because he felt that he had wasted too much time. Now, naturally, he didn't want to delay any more. Stop talking nonsense. Old man, I'm going to decide your life today. Cloud Dance gnaws his teeth, and his face is as cold and awe-inspiring as ever. Even though his steps are unsteady, Gu Degeo is still dyed with absolute strength. He suddenly attacks and cuts off the protruding eyes. Hiss! 1,000 feet insect pain of a hiss. The predecessor can't help but lift, almost while his head of the main rudder fell. I'd like to see how many times you can revive this worm. The cloud dances low to drink, lowered the body to rush to 1,000 feet insect body quickly. The soft abdomen is exposed, and the ancient martial arts knife cuts it horizontally. The sharp blade cuts it easily, and the blood splashes out. I don't know what internal organs or intestines gush out. Yunwu retreated, but he was still brought by the wind when the insect fell down and stood firm in front of the two. Lan Yu and Bai Shuer turn over and want to help Yunwu. Don't help me. I feel that there is something wrong with the contract space. Go back to the space first. At the end of the cloud dance, it takes them back to space. Although I don't know what's wrong, I always feel that something has changed in the contract space. Just after she took them back into space, she lost touch with them instantly. This made Yunwu's face heavy. Want to explore what happened in the end, but found no movement, even with the contract beast. That kind of special connection also seems to be blocked by what? Damn it, what's going on? However, he didn't wait for Yunwu to explore more. At this time, Hayo, who was watching the battle, flashed over, but didn't go back to Chaos Hall. Instead, He watched Yunwu for a long time before he said, "There's something wrong with your body, but with your current strength, it seems that you don't need me to protect you. You think too much of me." Yunwu wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. He could only rely on his sword to support his body. "Do you think that old man can do nothing but this worm?" Cloud Dance's face appears a dark, cold arc. Black AO is still silent, just standing in front of Cloud Dance's body. The fog also thinned a lot, obviously just consumed a lot. The old man, how did he do it? In a short period of time. Even if the strength has been improved so much, can the attack of Black Pride be resisted and consumed? Black AO is what origin? She is not very clear, but also understand that is not simple. This damn old man. On the other hand, Long Qingxie had no time to take care of other things at this time. He stared at Yunwu, and after the body of the thousand-legged insect was smashed down, he was relieved and devoted himself to the place where he broke through the acupoints. What makes him more concerned is that after the exhausted power in his body has been overdrawn again and again, it seems that there are signs of surging at this time. Is it because it's going to be advanced soon? However, if we make a breakthrough at this time, it's really a bad time. Useless waste. The master of the branch rudder looked at the millipede under him with a gloomy and angry voice. The wound created by Yunwu is very deep, much more serious than before. If he spends more energy to cure this guy, he might as well solve it himself. The rudder master gave a cold hum and immediately came down from the back of the millipede. He looked back at the twitching body of the millipede and the sunken eyes. He was angry and resentful. How much energy did it take him to tame this millipede? Today, even let this little girl film to make residual kill. How can not angry? Old man, it seems that your things are not very good. Cloud Dance sneer, but secretly constantly inhale, hit the chest of Fan Yong, for fear that a careless spit out the blood, the last breath of the body will be gone. Well, I'll let you know the price of disrespect today. The derided rudder master's face twisted and suddenly rushed over, and the huge power in his hands separated the tall weeds around him. Brush! Clattering out of a road, blink of an eye to the cloud before. Yunwu's pupil contracted, just like the size of a needle. He stepped back quickly. Black AO's scarlet eyes and Black Fog's body shape flashed. He took the initiative to meet the sub-helm master, silently overdrawn his strength and resisted the attack. Boom! A strange wave of power suddenly spread. The two almost rival forces gave way to each other, shaking out a huge afterwave, forcing Yunwu to step back 2 steps. Only feel a pain in the chest, a sweet throat, and stiffly with the blood to swallow down. Lift Mao to see toward that already almost a dissipate of black fog. Instantly sink to shout away. Black Proud, come back. Black AO also seems to have just can't hold on. After hearing speech, return to Cloud Dance body. Quiet healing. How do you feel? Does it matter? It's okay. Just fix it, but you have to be careful. The power in his body is unusual? What do you mean? Cloud Dance originally wanted to ask, but the voice of Black Pride sank. How long can you survive without your friends to help you? The master of the branch rudder originally wanted to pursue again, twice to break up the strange black fog completely. But suddenly he was empty, leaving only the crumbling clouds, slightly calm and disdainful. You don't have to worry about it. Worrying about yourself is the most important thing. Cloud Dance's attitude is still tough. Looking at the rudder master's eyes are full of pity. You said that you were so old that you were so embarrassed by my arrogant younger generation. It's really sad. The master of the branch rudder suddenly turned pale and blue. He stared at the cloud fiercely and said in a low voice, I didn't expect that a dying man would have a sharp mouth. Okay, I'll take your dog's life today and wash away the shame. After that, there was a strong wind coming. It seemed that Yunwu could not escape, but there was no next action. This smelly old man will die of his own arrogance. With a sneer of Cloud Dance, the extinguished fire on Gu de Gao suddenly began to transpiration again. The hot tongues of fire gathered together to devour the power of the main rudder. while Yunwu took advantage of this gap to squeeze a small vermilion pill from the dark nong at the cuff and swallow it into his stomach. Dragon Qingxia, who was breaking through the sealed acupoint, just saw this scene. His eyes are cold and full of anger. That idiot! Did you really use that medicine? Before the helmsman made the next move, Yunwu's momentum suddenly soared, and an overwhelming force came towards him, which was absolute force suppression. The rudder master raised his head in surprise and widened his eyes. You! At this time, the clouds were dancing. His body was floating in the air. His ragged clothes and long hair were windless. His eyes were dizzy and dyed scarlet, and he was like a prey who was watched by the devil. Old man, if you also die, will those people praise your merits? The main body of the branch rudder was cold. He looked up stiffly at the clouds, but his whole body couldn't move. He could only let the mermaid eat. He doesn't want to die. No. Seeing that the rudder master didn't answer, Yunwu sneered and stretched out her hand. Her palm was facing the rudder master. An invisible force converged in her palm and merged with the force that suddenly bound the rudder master, forming an invisible connection in the air. Look at your age. I think you should live enough. The sound of the clouds came from the air and reached the ears of the rudder master. To him, it sounded more like it came from a very distant place. He was enveloped in an invisible force and could not move. For the first time in the eyes of the master of the branch rudder, a look of almost desperate horror appeared. He wanted to open his mouth, but found that he couldn't even make a sound. In that case, I'll give you a ride. Cloud dance sneers, 5 fingers gradually close. Not far away from the opposite rudder master body, also seems to be really held in general squeeze out of shape. Kaka! The sound of crisp bone fracture came. The old eyes were congested, and the mouth was wide open, but there was no sound. No Cloud Dance's face suddenly turned white, and then the body in the air swayed slightly. After a while, he coughed up a mouthful of blood. There is not much time left for her. It must be solved as soon as possible. With this in mind, when he looked up at the helmsman who had already twisted his body, his eyes were full of bloodthirsty, killing intention. 5 fingers slowly clenched again, but if you look carefully, you can see that her hand is shaking slightly. Looking at the cloud-dancing dragon Qingxia below, his eyes are almost red at this time. I wish I could rush up to pull the damned woman down and beat her now. However, although some forces in his body began to wake up slowly, he is still not completely out of the control of acupoints. The body of the branch rudder master has been twisted to a strange shape, just like an invisible hand grabbing his body again. The viscera are squeezed and displaced, the eyes protrude, and the body sinks one by one. Biting his teeth, the cloud danced and stared at the rudder master. The red in his eyes was almost bleeding, and his slender fingers suddenly closed completely. Not far away from the main rudder was also instantly squeezed into the shape of a ball. Finally, bang! With a loud noise, the body suddenly burst open in the air. Blood and meat splashed everywhere, and the air was full of bloody smell. As the blood fog dispersed, the eyes of Cloud Dance suddenly became lax. Poof! Suddenly, a big mouthful of blood could no longer help spouting out, and his body fell directly from midair. At this time, even if she is not dead, it will be hard for her to fall down without any defense. At the moment when Yunwu's body is about to fall to the ground, a figure suddenly flashed under her, caught Yunwu, and then slowly put it on the ground. Roar! A low roar, but deafening, cloud fuzzy, only hazy to see a huge golden figure, and is rushing over the dragon, poor evil. They're fine. It's good it's dark, and then it's white. Cloud danced strange left and right to see for a while, suddenly found that the body is actually a little before the wound left or not, but also some weak. Where is this? Yun would try to make a sound, but it was still. He just got up and looked around. Is this the legendary paradise? No, how can a man like him go to heaven? He should go to hell. Thought again deviated. Cloud dance helpless smile, stand up and walk around. but found all around the body is white fog. With her actions slightly rolling, such a look, it is really, and heaven has a little bit of the same feeling. After another 2 steps, this place seems to have no boundary. No matter where the cloud dance goes, it is always a vast expanse of white in front of us. I can't help frowning. Is it difficult to, is this her sea of consciousness? Just thinking about this, the cloud dance suddenly refracts a touch of gold at its feet, dispels the white fog, and then winds a beautiful arc on the ground. It looks like a magic array, but it's just an unintentional painting. Cloud dance frowns, but also the future, and look carefully. The foot's suddenly empty. The body seems to fall down in front of a twist. When you open your eyes again and focus your eyes, you will see the face of dragon. You wake up. There was an obvious surprise in Long Qingxia's eyes, and then he was a little angry. Little thing, you are so brave. Don't you know the consequence of taking that pill? Yunwu was in a trance, listening to the Long Qingxia's stoic roar. He suddenly bent his lips, and his voice was hoarse. Well, you're okay. Long Qingxia is ready to reprimand again. When he hears her sentence, it's like being suddenly cut off, and the words about to take off suddenly stop. After staring at Yunwu for a long time, that pair of bloodshot eyes sighed. They reached out and hugged Yunwu tightly, just like a lost treasure. They were reluctant to let go, but they were not willing to pity too much. Little thing, what do you want me to do with you? Cloud danced some hard back to embrace the dragon Qing evil, mouth with a smile. At this time, she could clearly feel that the emptiness in her body, not to mention the power of elements, could not even see the black pride in the Chaos Palace. If you feel it carefully, it seems that the branch in the abdomen has suddenly grown up and a soft and hard thing is wrapping the dainty on. However, her whole strength disappeared, completely disappeared. This is ouch. Cloud dance had no time to think about it. Suddenly heard the familiar hum. It was discovered that Jinbao was caught in the middle of them at some time. At this time, he was waving his small arms and struggling with his legs, and there was a cry of discontent in his mouth. Thanks to the little one, he saved you. Long Qingxia's face is a little ugly. He looks up and smiles at Yunwu reluctantly. Little thing, don't try to be brave in the future. Don't worry. Give yourself to me, and I will protect you for the rest of your life. Cloud dance smells speech lung for a moment, then smile. Eyes fall on dissatisfied Jinbao. She didn't know the meaning of launching heresy. In her current situation, she is useless. For the practitioners, the loss of cultivation in the blink of an eye is about enough to drive anyone crazy. But for her, let it go. I'm fine. The cloud dances with a smile, hugs the treasure under the body, looks it up and down carefully, and then says, Little, the one before, is that your real body? Jinbao's little body was stiff for a while. Then a guilty look appeared in his eyes. He sobbed twice, closed his eyes, and pretended to be dead. Yunwu couldn't help laughing. He put Jinbao on the ground and said nothing more. Since the little guy doesn't want to admit it, forget it. Are you okay? Aside from curiosity, Yunwu puts her eyes on Long Qingxi. Although the heart is clear, she is in a coma in the past. The Long Qing evil definitely broke through. Just at this time, still can't help but care. A soft look appeared in Long Qingxia's eyes, and he bent down to pick up Yunwu. Find a place first. You can have a good rest. I'll find something to eat. For some reason, Yunwu suddenly thought of the scene in The Journey to the West where the Tang monk always asked the Monkey King to find something to eat. He chuckled. Little thing, what are you laughing at, eh? Dragon Qing Xie listened to Cloud dance, a little exaggeration, and the intention is not clear smile. Can't help but feel helpless. Who else would have just lost his cultivation and could have laughed so freely? Only the little thing in his arms could do it. If you don't die in great danger, you will be blessed. Cloud dance casually perfunctory, eh? Eyes fall on not far away, has no life on the 1,000-foot insect body, also hanging some fine flesh and blood. You don't have to think about it. Yunwu knows it's her own work. The memory before the coma has been a little fuzzy, perhaps because of the huge power full of the body is not enough to bear. However, She didn't know that the situation at that time almost made the dragon almost collapse. When Yunwu faints, her body is full of cracks one after another, which are stretched open, shocking and constantly mixed with Yuanli's blood. When Long Qingxie recalled the scene and mood at that time, he still felt as if he had been twisted by something. At that time, Yunwu was like a broken doll, fragmented, as if the fragile touch would completely disappear, so that he did not even dare to hold him. There is almost no hope to save the person whose body has been hollowed out in front of him. However, Jinbao has made a wound on his paw, which is full of tears, but he still stubbornly drops the blood into Yunwu's mouth. Long Qingxie just watched Cloud Dance be repaired quickly with the speed visible to the naked eye, but he didn't want to investigate the identity of Jinbao. Now Cloud Dance lost ability, almost no difference with ordinary people, but he is very happy she is still alive. However, we should leave this land of right and wrong as soon as possible. After finding a relatively hidden cave, Long Qingxie puts the Cloud Dance on the ground and asks him to fly out after 2 words. The bright and soft expression on Yunwu's face darkened quickly. With a gloomy face, he continued to feel his body carefully. It was still empty, but his body was very light. But in this world where the strong are respected, this is not enough. However, she is Yunwu, a miracle doctor and killer. What's hard to get her? Even if she lost her strength now, she will try to recover. Taking back his mind, Yunwu looked down at Jinbao in front of him and asked softly, "Little guy, do you know how to restore my cultivations?" After pausing for a moment, he chuckled again with a slight self-mockery. "My brain is broken with me. What's the use of asking you?" As if he was talking to himself, Yunwu was silent. He looked at the scenery at the entrance of the cave and pondered for a while. There is no doubt that at this time, she is a full burden to Long Qingxie. She knows that Long Qingxie will never feel that way, but she doesn't like the men who drag her down. And the only solution is to find a way to restore strength. Dragon roll, by the way, tornado. If you can find the dragon tornado, maybe there will be a way to restore your strength. However, is it so easy to find a tornado? Xiaomu needs to kill a 5-star club branch to get it. But now that she has lost her strength, she says that she wants to destroy a 5-star subrudder. It's a bit of a fool's dream. Damn it, that's a lot of trouble. The more you think about it, Yunwu gets upset and stares at his fingertips. Even the dragon has not noticed the evil coming in. Also, where does she have the ability to notice the whereabouts of Dragon Qingxie at this time? First of all, let's go together when the Zisher site opens today. After Long Qingxie handed some fruits to Yunwu, he began to make a fire and wanted to roast the rabbit he had just hunted. The Cloud Dance over there has not moved for a long time. When I look up, I find that the Cloud Dance has a face full of desire for words. Say what you want. Long Qingxie takes back his sight and bows his head. He knows that Yunwu's mood at this time must be better. Naturally, he doesn't want to laugh. He asks in a low voice and starts to make a fire again. Yunwu bites his lower lip and finally says what he wants in his heart. "I still won't go." What's in the cerebellar pouch? Before Yunwu finished, Long Qingxie suddenly lost his things. He went to Yunwu and picked her chin. His scarlet eyes were staring at Yunwu. "Are you afraid?" "No." Yunwu knocked off Long Qingxie's hand and frowned. "I'm a drag on you now. In this situation, it's not as reliable as your own." In fact, Yunwu did not want to drag him down. Perhaps this is the inferiority complex hidden at the bottom of people's heart. No matter how strong you are, one day, when you suddenly find that you have lost your dependence, you will become a little bit insecure. No way. Long Qingxie's eyes take a serious look at Yunwu, then take the fruit he just picked and wipe it twice, and put it in Yunwu's hand. "My woman is not a burden. If you feel that you are a drag on me, why don't I let go of my strength and let you protect me?" Smell speech, Cloud Dance not from along. Immediately, the bottom of my heart can't help shivering. I can't help looking up at the man in front of me. For the first time, I feel that my nose is sour. This man, how can he know so much about her weakness? Well, fool, if it's a drag, it can only be said that I dragged you down before. If you want to shrink back, I'll accompany you. Cloud Dance can't help but smell speech. Finally can't help but white as one eye. Who said I want to retreat? But thank you for the stimulation. I'm very helpful, so I'll go. That's good. With that, Long Qingxie rubbed her hair with a childlike expression. However, her eyes were tender. Cloud Dance depressed clap, open his hand. However, the bottom of my heart is really feel to rekindle some kind of fire. Now she has no strength all over her body, so she can't look up the dragon scroll. She wanted to ask Bai Lao, but Bai Lao has been sleeping since last time. This feeling of starting up empty-handed, it's really a little familiar. Helpless sigh. However, I have decided to rise again. Now I have to speed up my time to come up with solutions. Otherwise, I can barely pass the level of ruins. What about the temple map? Soon the fragrance overflowed in the cave, and even Jin Bao, who had been sleeping because of fatigue, was lured to wake up helpless. Looking at Long Qingxie carefully tearing the rabbit meat into small pieces and feeding it to Yunwu. This is red eye. At this time, it is more red because of greedy eyes. It's funny to see Yunwu. Little one, come here. Long Qingxie naturally noticed Jin Bao's drooling look, but he waited patiently. When his big eyes almost fell out of tears, he laughed softly. Jin Bao looks at their smiling faces and the rabbit meat in Long Qingxie's hands. He swallows his saliva and sends out a short breath in his nose. He turns his fat little body around. I don't want to talk to you. Cloud Dance laughs. This appearance really let her know matter how can't connect with that golden huge figure. No, that's fine. Long Qingxie was too lazy to entangle with the little guy. He took back his hand lazily and prepared to wrap the rest in leaves for Yunwu to eat when he was hungry. As a result, before their words fell, a golden light flashed in front of their eyes, and the hands of Dragon Qingxie were empty. And some guy who just had a proud face just ran to the corner and tore it with his not-so-sharp teeth. What a freak! Cloud Dance shakes his head and smiles. His eyes are full of helplessness. I really don't know how to evaluate the guy in front of me. It's kind of like you. Long Qingxie doesn't miss any chance to tease Yunwu. After getting a wink from Yunwu, he just stopped laughing and looked at Yunwu seriously. Little thing, what did you think then? If you take that pill, you will have serious sequelae. Why? Cloud Dance casually looked at the dragon, leaning against the stone wall. Although you are evil and immortal, I don't want to make you suffer from the pain of re-debonding. Moreover, I also want to tell you that your woman is not so weak, only knows how to save her life. After a pause, Yunwu suddenly sat up straight and looked at the dragon carefully. I used to be a goshawk to compare with you. Now I have lost all my accomplishments, but I will never drag you back. Long Qingxie, you remember? I have never been a weak person who needs others to protect me to live in peace. I will definitely restore my accomplishments and look down on the world side by side with you. Don't look down on me. What Yunwu doesn't know is that her words today make the dragon pour evil as if engraved into the soul to remember eternal life. When she thinks about it, there will be a kind of palpitation from the heart. He knew from the beginning that she was never a simple woman. Otherwise, she would not have been haunted by her from the first sight. His woman, absolutely not vulgar. Long Qingxie looks at the Cloud Dance, and his heart can't hide the palpitation. However, at this time, he suddenly felt uneasy. It seems that something will happen. Then I thought about it. The serious things happen in the daytime. Where can we go now? What's more serious? In this way, Long Qingxie relaxed and leaned against the tree trunk to wait for the sight to appear. There is a little breeze at night, which strikes the leaves and rubs against each other, making people feel drowsy. As time went by, Long Qingxie suddenly straightened up, frowned, and looked around. He just felt something. But below is still quiet. Steals the moonlight to cut out the hazy edge. The shadow is graceful. The dragon inclines evil also did not feel any other strange place. Is he thinking too much? Long Qingxie's deep thought narrowed his sharp eyes and swept all around. Only after half a sound did he take back his sight. In the twinkling of an eye, he looked at Yunwu, who was holding Jinbao in a daze. His eyes were incredibly soft. Maybe he didn't even find this change. Deep in the night, the place previously recorded on the parchment is surrounded by a range, and a halo begins to appear around it. In the dark night, it is very conspicuous, but extremely soft. Yunwu gets up and stares at the place. Although she doesn't have any yuan force in her body now, she is still sensitive to the majestic force. Is this the site with the temple map? It's so powerful before it's opened. What will happen if it's opened? Cloud Dance's breathing can't help but compact up, watching the halo gradually become strong, expand, and finally almost the whole range is shrouded in the light again. Suddenly, the left hand was suddenly held. Let's go. Long Qingxie was attracted by the power of that place, so he seemed to ignore the two figures behind him because of the stronger light there. Good. Yunwu nodded. Then he was caught by Long Qingxie, jumped down from the tree, and rushed to the other side quickly. The person behind secretly exchanged a look, crumpled a charm in hand, and then lowered his body to follow. With the distance getting closer and closer, Yunwu unexpectedly found that the light did not become dazzling. On the contrary, it weakened a bit after they approached, which was enough to light up the road in front of them and not hurt people's eyes. Just Cloud, surprised, did not find the arms of Jinbao. That pair of red eyes are flowing with a touch of golden light. But the two men who followed behind them suddenly shrank their pupils, and before they could even utter a scream, they were crushed into powder by the light around the site. Long Qingxie, who was driving forward, suddenly stopped and looked behind him. There was a trace of doubt in his eyes. What's the matter with you? Dragon Qingxie suddenly stops. Cloud Dance looks up at Dragon Qingxie. Just Dragon Qingxie turns back. Evil spirit of hook-up lips. Nothing. He just clearly felt that someone was following him. How could he disappear in the blink of an eye? Did he feel wrong again? Even if Long Qingxie is careless, he already feels wrong at this time. What's more, he is a person with extremely sensitive intuition. However, I didn't say anything at the moment. Seeing that something similar to the entrance was about to arrive, I raised my vigilance again and put Cloud Dance down. It's just a little strange. The place covered by halo seems to be clean, even without gravel. However, if they can see themselves at this time, they will find that there is a faint golden ring on their body, which is constantly offset by the halo and becomes more and more powerful again. Of course, at this time, both of them are in a daze and don't know it. Imperceptibly, the two men came to the entrance. In front of the door was a prominent ferocious animal head, grinning. Yunwu stepped forward and pressed it down. After a loud noise, the huge stone door slowly opened, and the halo seemed to be suddenly absorbed and slowly disappeared. Yunwu and Long Qingxie also saw that there was no grass in the dense jungle around them. The ground was as smooth as if it had just been repaired. There was not even a stone. What's going on? This situation, if two people still can't detect the difference, it's too stupid. However, it is clear that no one can answer this question. Brush! All of a sudden, a small voice came from the attack of a stab. Long Qingxie frowned and pulled Cloud Dance into his arms. See, Cloud just in the place of the stone wall, suddenly more than a dagger, being inserted in the stone wall, the end slightly tremble. Long Qingxie's face was ugly, and he turned to look behind him. Sure enough, I saw two people with obvious high accomplishments, followed by several similar elite disciples. The man of the beast gate? Their special breath is undoubtedly the most obvious feature. Smell speech, that walk to lead a person to smile slightly, come forward. The next is the upper boundary. The 10,000 Beast sect assigns the Lord, Lien Sun. Lord Lien, talk to him, but the Lord told us to solve it quickly. Another looks more rough, crazy face is full of impatience. Seems to want to be able to take the hand to solve the general dragon evil. Brother Muzwa, it's not good to be so impatient. Lien Sun did not hurry to say a word. Then he put his eyes on the dragon again, as if they were not enemies at all. He was still kind. You are the young leader of the evil family, Long Qingxie? I've heard so much about you. Long Qingxie didn't speak, but he just protected Yunwu behind him. A pair of shadowy eyes were staring at Lien Sun, who was gentle but uncomfortable. Cloud Dance is a deep heart. Even if she can't feel it, she can see that the smiling tiger is absolutely unfathomable. This time, it's probably more difficult than she imagined. Lien Sun was not annoyed when he saw that they should not. He just shook the folding fan in his hand and said, "You should understand the purpose of our trip. Why don't you come to an inn by yourself?" In order to avoid wasting more time, the site has not been open for a long time. If you miss this time, you will have to wait for thousands of years. Well said, it's arrogant. Long Qingxie's eyes narrowed, but a gloomy smile came out of the corner of his mouth, and his voice was cold. This elder brother is very big tone. Isn't it afraid that the skill is inferior to others to wipe his face? You are so arrogant. I will teach you a lesson. Lien Sun hasn't made any response yet, but Mu Zhuo, who is irascible beside him, first steps out a pair of knives from his hands and rushes up with a roar. Long Qingxie's eyes sank, and his mouth sneered coldly. However, he didn't despise the enemy. Although I despise this kind of person with simple mind and reckless personality, for the sake of safety, I still pushed Yunwu back and put a protective cover on her before fighting. The épée in Long Qingxie's hand collides with Mu's was double sabers again, and the two sides' spiritual power is competing secretly. After the huge after-effect of collision, the two sides are separated, and Long Qingxie's face is dignified. In front of him, although he looks like a man of 5 big and 3 thick, with typical developed limbs and simple mind, he didn't expect that his strength was really good. No wonder they are so impatient that they have some strength to solve them. The blow just now was extremely difficult. If you add that unfathomable person, it's really hard to deal with. However, the man named Lien Sun doesn't seem to have the intention to help. He shakes the folding fan and smiles. His eyes fall on Yunwu from time to time, which makes Long Qingxie very uncomfortable. In the collision with the left side of the wood together, but also a bit more flavor of quick decision. Seeing that Mu Zhuo was struggling, those disciples didn't even plan to help. Yunwu was surprised, but he didn't dare to act rashly, for fear that he would become the weakness of Dragon's evil spirit. So he could only stand in the same place with Jinbao. However, they don't know that Mu Zhuo's school is famous for its irascibility. No one is allowed to help when fighting, and the one who helps will hate the other. As a result, they have formed the habit of looking on coldly. No wonder they are. After a few rounds, Mu Zhuo was stabbed in the shoulder by Long Qingxie and was defeated. He had to retreat to the team. When he covered his shoulder and looked at Long Qingxie, there was an obvious hatred in his eyes. Long Qingxie didn't care much. He took the sword calmly and looked coldly at Lien Sun, who was clapping. Long Xiaozhu is really good at kung fu. His swordsmanship is so exquisite. I don't know what his spiritual power is. I want to ask for some advice. Speaking to the dragon in front of the evil. Fast, even dragon evil cannot help but flash a surprise. The épée swung, but was blocked by the folding fan. Dragon Qing evil I sun ami, the eye bottom deep place flits past a touch of undercurrent. Now we can't waste too much spiritual power, otherwise we don't know what will happen when we enter the site. Now he can only try to save energy to prevent being weak when dealing with emergencies later. Cloud Dance is pursed lips, eyes staring at the man with a folding fan. The heart has a bad premonition. Lien Sun didn't know whether he was intentionally or unintentionally, but he didn't use his spiritual power. Instead, he took the folding fan that looked like a treasure and kept on attacking, with the same smile on his face. Long Qingxie couldn't figure out the intention of the man who looked like a gentle child. He could only deal with it while thinking about how to get away. Just thinking about it, one dodges the side body, but suddenly sees the Cloud Dance there. A person is quietly approaching. Little thing back. Cloud Dance is early in the dragon pour evil that words fall. The eye ground is cold a heavy. In the back neck of a cold wind hit. The body quickly a flash. Holding Jinbao in one hand. Holding a special silver needle in the other. Although the silver needle she ordered this time was thin, It was very tough. It was about the length of a dagger. If she held it in her hand, it could be hidden in a slightly wider sleeve. When this group of people appeared, she had already taken it out for defense. Poof! A piercing sound. The man who sneaked on did not expect that he could not feel the breath of his ability from this woman. He even had such a skill, a slight enemy, and lost his life. Long Qingxie was relieved, and then he turned back and looked at Lien Sun with a gloomy face. What are you going to do? Although their relationship with the Beast Gate has reached the point of immortality, but now this kind of cloud dance only barely has the ability of self-protection. It is not suitable for too much entanglement. The sect leader ordered that 2 heads be taken from their heads to get the map of the temple. Lien Sun is still smiling, just a little more cold in his voice. However, as soon as his words fell, a dazzling light suddenly burst out from the plain folding fan, and with a strong sense of destruction, he attacked the dragon. Want our lives? Then I'll see what you can do. Dragon Qing, evil eyes a dark, dodge away, also no longer retain strength. A black breath swept by, will be stunned, even Sun directly fly out. The man's white clothes were immediately stained with blood. The rest of the disciples saw that the 2 patriarchs were injured, so they immediately took up their weapons. For a moment, the scene became a bit chaotic. These people are all elite disciples who have been screened. Naturally, they are much better than the people they met before. Long Qingxie looked at someone approaching the cloud dance. His face sank, but he had no skills. For a moment, he wanted to give birth to 2 more hands to open the group of forgiving flies around him. Yunwu looks at the person who wants to get close to him. There is no panic in his eyes. On the contrary, he has a faint feeling of ridicule. Holding Jinbao in his hand, he ducked a wind blade. The silver needle in his hand stabbed the man's heart mercilessly. When he pulled it out, it brought out a blood stain, and his face did not change. A fireball suddenly hit Yunwu. Although it was stopped and offset by the shield set by Long Qingxie, Yunwu was shocked to step back 2 steps, and his face was a little ugly. This is not the way to go on. A few more, she will not be able to continue to support. Gnashed teeth, the corner of the eye glimpses the light inside the ruins door has been darked down, some irritable and dodge a person. At this time, a person hit. Cloud dance finally no longer dodge. Backhand grabbed the man's wrist. A crisp bone fracture sound accompanied by scream. Dragon! Quick fight. Quick decision. Hearing the voice of Cloud Dance, Dragon Qingxie didn't make a sound, but it also contained strength. At the moment of Lien Sun's attack, a die, with the power of dark corrosion, suddenly attacked and left. At that time, the dragon suddenly stepped back. Several leaped to Yunwu's side, reached for Yunwu, and flew to the slowly closed ruins. Chase Lien Sun's face was scratched. In a painful torture, he forgot his demeanor for a moment. He covered his face with a roar, and at the same time he flew out to chase him. As soon as Yunwu and Long Qingxie ran in for 2 steps, the lights suddenly went out completely. In front of their eyes, it was dark. It seemed that they had stepped on something soft and uneven. When it lights up again, it's like a palace in front of you. It's dilapidated and dusty. No need to guess, this should be the so-called site. This place is worthy of the name of ruins. Just out of danger, Cloud Dance, relax. Can't help joking. Dragon Qingxie's mouth outlines, grabs Yunwu's hand, and goes to a similar exit. They didn't find that in this place. It seems that the breath of all creatures has been blocked. Behind the corner, there are countless pairs of eyes emitting green light, moving the body towards the collapsed stone pillar a comatose person rushed to. After leaving the depressing and dilapidated hall, it suddenly opened up, but the uneasy feeling in Yunwu's heart never disappeared from the beginning to the end. If that evil saying is true, it should be in the front. Long Qingxie looks at the huge volcano not far away. The broken eaves and walls around it are like toys in front of it, which can't be summarized several times. He shouldn't cheat us? For Qingxie, Yunwu has no doubt, because Qingxie is the previous life of Long Qingxie, and there is no reason to cheat Long Qingxie. Long Qingxie doesn't have any opinions. Although Yunwoo's inexplicable trust in others makes him feel a little uncomfortable, it's also his past life. It seems strange to be jealous. At the moment, they didn't say anything. They went there together. With the guidance of Kangxi, they naturally saved a lot of effort to find. The white bones everywhere around the site clearly told them that many people had been flocking to this place, but they died in all kinds of accidents. Look at the color of the white bone. It's even older. Others, however, were recently seen. They even saw a lot of mummies whose skin and flesh had not been completely corroded, showing more or less white bones, hanging ill in a corner. Yunwoo can't feel the hidden threats, but the dragon can see clearly. Around the white bones or mummies, there is something lying on the ground, and there is a strange light in his eyes, but it seems that he is afraid of something and doesn't dare to approach. What are they afraid of? Dragon Qingxia frowns and subconsciously looks at Jinbao in Yunwoo's arms. Just as Jinbao looks back at him, his red eyes are full of confusion. How can it be? Long Qingxia shakes his head and laughs. He still thinks that it's the Kangxi who leaves something on them that makes them dare not approach. Cloud Dance didn't notice the strange of Dragon's evil, just frowned and looked at the white bones around. I don't know if it's because of these bones. She feels numb with something staring at her scalp. The front is going to stay. You'll stay down later. I'll go up and have a look. The volcano is not far away, and the dragon suddenly stops to look at the Cloud Dance road. The cloud dances and frowns. Looking up, it seems that precipices and cliffs are very suitable to describe this dead volcano, but if she can't go up, there was a trace of loss in Yunwoo's eyes. Even though he knew that Long Qingxia was just worried about her safety, he still couldn't help feeling uncomfortable. Long Qingxia sighs. At a glance, he knows what Yunwoo thinks. At the moment, he rubs Yunwoo's hair to comfort him. I don't know what else is on it. You'd better stay here safe. Is there nothing down there? Yunwoo's subconscious retort makes Long Qingxia feel a little shocked. He suddenly remembers what he saw before. I still don't know why he didn't dare to get close to them. If Yunwoo is allowed to stay here, what's the matter for a moment? Long Qingxia was in a dilemma. It's known danger to stay below, but unknown danger to go up together. Since it's not safe anywhere, it's better to stay with him with this in mind. Dragon Qingxia hugs Yunwoo's waist in his arms. Then go up together. If there is any danger later, remember to hide. Yunwoo nodded, stretched out an arm around the waist of Long Qingxia to prevent himself from falling down. Since Jinbao came here, he has been surprisingly silent. This time, he was squeezed in the middle by Dragon Qingxia and Cloud Dance, and it was just a slight struggle. After 2 times, he didn't move. He didn't know what to think in his big red eyes. Dragon Qing evil lift gas, hold steady Cloud Dance after the foot force. His body was like an arrow away from the string, and there was a small hole on the hard rock where he used to work. For the first time in her life, Yunwoo knew that for a person who had no accomplishments, the speed she was used to was difficult for her to breathe. In desperation, Yunwoo simply tilted her head and buried her face in the chest of Long Qingxia. Smelling the unique fragrance from the tip of her nose, she felt much more comfortable. Cloud Dance's small action falls in the eyes of Dragon Qingxia. Inexplicable mood is joyful. After the corner of the lip hooks out a radiant, the action is more and more rapid. Can suddenly flash a shadow. Long Qingxia's eyes were cold. He stepped on the claw and turned to the other side to stand on a flat rock. Yunwoo suddenly feels that Long Qingxia pauses for a while, then turns around and stops. With a little doubt, she looks up and sees Long Qingxia's tight chin, looking at the place where he can see. I saw on the opposite wall, a strange-shaped monster was lying on it. 5 fingers grasped the rock under the body to prevent it from falling. What is this? Yunwoo frowns. After being put on the ground by Long Qingxia, he consciously holds Jinbao back 2 steps and stands behind Long Qingxia, but he still stares at the place without blinking, trying to identify what the other party is. Hiss! It looks like a human body, but it's rickety and shriveled. There are some rags hanging on it. I don't know, it's something left over hundreds of years ago. The joints of the ribs and bones are clearly visible. Even the sound is like a monster. This is the only adjective Cloud Dance can think of. But the guy didn't seem to see the two people's disgust for him. The sunken eyes and a pair of eyes were hidden behind the messy hair. The only thing I can feel is that the guy is treating both of them, or the body, very interested. Long Qingxie was staring at him, and a long sword appeared in his hand. It was covered with black silk and attacked the monster with fierce killing intention. The monster hissed, and his limbs bounced back 2 times, although the action was strange. But it is smooth to avoid most of the sword, but was cut by the edge of the sword dry skin, outflow of some black-green viscous liquid. The air suddenly a stench. Long Qingxie frowned, and his disgust was suppressed. A dark light was gathered in his palm, which contained enough power to destroy the heaven and earth to attack the monster. The speed made the Cloud Dance unable to see clearly. It only saw a shadow, a monster's hiss, and then a disgusting stench. In a trance, Long Qingxie had already arrived in front of him. His eyebrows and eyes were soft, and his evil spirit was gone. He stretched out his hand to the Cloud Dance. "Come on, let's go up." Cloud Dance lung after a moment, just suddenly laugh. "This man is really proud. Put your hand in Long Qingxie's hand, and put your body in your arms." In order to avoid the suffocation before, this time Long Qingxie has just started. Yunwu buries your face in Long Qingxie's arms and whispers in your ears. "Just want to solve the problem as soon as possible. Leave here Dragon Qingxie," and Cloud Dance didn't see, behind them, that just was fried into pieces of meat, corrosion of the monster, although the flesh and blood disappeared, but there is a spread of black and green mucus slowly gathered, squirming to form a body as before. A pair of red eyes staring away at the two people, full of greed, shriveled mouth issued a low hiss. "It's almost there." Long Qingxie looked at the nearby crater and said something, but somehow he felt a little uneasy. This road seems to be a little too smooth, except for meeting a monster with poor combat effectiveness. I haven't met any obstruction. So, what will happen later? Under the pressure of the strange heart, Long Qingxie speeds up his pace. His uneasiness makes him just want to leave this strange place as soon as possible. Finally, Long Qingxie jumped up and stood on the edge of the crater. He put down the cloud and looked at a bright spot in the center. Here it is. After Cloud Dance stood firm, she looked around and was surprised. The volcano is a little bigger than she imagined. Fortunately, it is already an extinct volcano. If they are not lucky enough to catch up with the eruption, they may not have enough lives. The map of the temple is close at hand. Cloud Dance looks at the black fog around it and frowns. It's foggy, but it doesn't float around. It's like it's imprisoned by something, and then it flows slowly in a fixed range. Yunwu doesn't dare to be careless. She inserts the silver needle hidden in her sleeve. The touch from her hand clearly tells Yunwu that there is something in front of her that they can't see, but it's very soft. The next second, the part of Yunwu's hand touched by the black fog suddenly melts like iron when it encounters high temperature. It turns into a pool of silver water and falls to the ground again, splashing some dust. Cloud Dance and Dragon pour evil facial expression a change. The thing of this place really can't look down upon. Long Qingxie brings another stone in. The stone has just entered that area. Before it falls to the ground, it stays in front of Yunwu and Long Qingxie and suddenly becomes a piece of dust. What the hell is this black fog? Yunwu looks at the dragon, but the dragon shakes his head. Unexpectedly, Yu Guang in the corner of his eye catches a glimpse of something, frowns, and goes there. Cloud Dance to keep up, see again on the ground. There is a sunken grain like a pattern. What array? Cloud Dance looks at the dragon to pour evil to ask away. Long Qingxie answered, frowned, and crouched down. His palm brushed away the dust and gravel on it, revealing a more complete, more complex and mysterious pattern, which continued to extend all around. Seeing this, Long Qingxie simply gathered some strength in his hand and patted it on the ground. The fine and just good spirit force controlled him to shake away the dust and gravel one after another, revealing the original appearance of the ground. This is a very large range, and the complex and mysterious pattern connects two circular grooves, one side high and the other low, with those patterns in the middle. What kind of array is this? The array I learned in the college before seems to be totally different. It's very strange. Ouch! When Yunwoo wondered what it was, Jinbao, who had been silent in her arms, suddenly hummed twice and struggled to jump out of Yunwoo's arms. Jinbao? Jinbao didn't seem to notice the sound of Yunwoo. She walked towards the higher groove with her short legs, sat there, and turned to look at Yunwoo. Woo-woo! What's the matter with you, Jinbao? Yunwoo doesn't understand. She goes to Jinbao and squats down to look at it. She doesn't know what Jinbao means. Ouch! Jinbao uses his little paw to slide on the other front paw. Then he looks up at Yunwoo. His red eyes reflect the appearance of Yunwoo. Yunwoo suddenly feels as if she knows what Jinbao wants to do. You mean, do you want this in your blood? Ouch! Seeing that Yunwoo understood his meaning, Jinbao nodded excitedly and continued to watch Yunwoo eagerly. Cloud dances frown. No, it takes too much blood. Over the past few days, she naturally knew that Jinbao was not an ordinary warcraft, and she naturally understood the value of its blood. If Jinbao's blood is necessary to open this, she would rather think of other ways. This little guy has no idea how much blood he has put. He has suddenly become very sleepy these 2 days, which must be the reason. Woo! See Cloud dance, don't agree. Gold BMW pitifully looking at Cloud dance, as if not to let him bleed, but became a matter of sorry for it in general. Long Qingxie went to Yunwoo, frowned and thought for a while, and said, since it asked for it on its own initiative, that should not have much impact. The time for Cloud dance and sight closure is coming. We should seize the time. But Cloud dance frowns, for a moment, or indecisive. Jinbao and others were impatient. They looked at their small claws and tried to scratch them with their nails. Unfortunately, they couldn't even scrape off a layer of scales. What's more, I cut my skin, but I had to continue to beg for the general look at the Cloud dance. Yunwoo was a little soft-hearted, but when you think about it, it seems that this kind of thing is not so kind-hearted. One man and one beast just froze for a long time, but the earth under your feet suddenly trembled. What's the matter? Yunwoo almost fell off without asking, and the remaining half of the silver needle fell to the ground, making a crisp sound. Cloud dance is held by Dragon Qingxie, frowning and looking around. I'm afraid this extinct volcano was stimulated by something and revived. Long Qingxie chuckled, but Yunwoo frowned and glanced at the area surrounded by the black fog, which was estimated in his heart. If the volcano suddenly erupted at this time, I'm afraid it would have to escape to the dilapidated hall for such a large area. This volcano, obviously, has not erupted for hundreds or even thousands of years. Otherwise, how can it form this kind of volcanic rock? Both of them didn't notice that Jinbao on the ground, with her bright red eyes, looked at the things on the ground stealthily, then stealthily fished the silver needle, which was only finger long, with her claws, and put it in a posture with great effort. Looking back, Yunwoo and Long Qingxie are still concerned about the volcanic eruption. They bite their teeth heartily, and their tender skin cuts through the sharp tip of the needle. Jin Baotong shivered, immediately lost the silver needle, and put the bleeding wound on the top of the groove. The blood was like pouring water, and slowly walked on the pattern. Yunwoo suddenly smelled a smell of blood. As soon as he looked back, he found the appearance of Jinbao. After a moment, he was angry. Jinbao, what are you doing? Ouch! Yunwoo reaches out to hold Jinbao, but Jinbao suddenly seems to have no idea of Yunwoo. He swings his paw fiercely and tears the wound bigger. It seems that he doesn't feel any pain at all. Cloud Dance was angry, don't want to let Jinbao so, but found that this little guy bleeding more than anyone positive, don't know whether to stop or let it go. If it wants to, let it be. Long Qingxie grabs Yunwoo's hand. Although there is no lack of worry in his eyes, he is calmer than Yunwoo. But Yunwu bit her lower lip and didn't know what to say for a moment, because now, the grain in front of Jinbao was almost filled up. If she bothered at this time, she might fall short. Cloud Dance also can only look at Jinbao gradually, some dispirited eyes dry anxious. The blood soon spread all over the whole grain, gathered in the lower groove, and slowly condensed into a blood-red blood pill. See blood Dan congealed. Jinbao took back his arm to lick. The wound disappeared, but the mental state is still not very good. Wani, the body did not have the luster of the past. Jinbao. Yunwu quickly picked up Jinbao. Long Qingxie picked up the blood pill on the ground and looked at it for a while. When he looked back, he suddenly found that the black fog, which was originally shrouded and controlled by something, had already begun to float out and was about to cover the Cloud Dance. The scene of the two things decomposed by the black fog appeared in my mind. Long Qingxie's pupils contracted for a while. Before he could shout out, he suddenly found that the things he imagined had not happened. Yunwu didn't know when he was covered with a layer of golden light. But Cloud Dance is imperceptible, or a mind is put on the arms of Wani Jinbao. Long Qingxie was relieved. Looking at his palm, he found that there was something on him. His eyes fell on Jinbao. In his half-open red eyes, there was a flow of golden light. After knowing what was going on in his heart, Long Qingxie went forward and rubbed Jinbao's head. He looked at the red eyes and couldn't say clearly. Well, is the black fog gone? When Yunwu looked up at the dragon, he found the black fog that had dissipated. He saw a little joy in his eyes and looked at a stone platform in the middle, on which was rolled up and tied. That's the temple map. I'll go and have a look first. Yunwu puts Jinbao in the arms of Long Qingxie, takes out the dagger from his waist, and walks cautiously. When he steps on some fine gravel, it will make a slight friction sound. In addition, everything is quiet. Until Yunwu came close to the stone platform, nothing happened. He turned around and nodded to Long Qingxie. Long Qingxie came forward and stood with Yunwu. This is the temple map. Yunwu looks at the things in front of him and takes a deep breath. He always feels uneasy, but he can't tell why. Long Qingxie nodded and watched Yunwu take it up. Nothing happened. He relaxed and turned around. Let's get going. Cloud Dance nodded. Just want to turn away. Suddenly found that a layer of halo appeared on the stone platform, engraved with 2 lines of small characters, but the back has been unable to see clearly. Refining muscles and bones. Bathing in fire. That's Yunwu hesitates. The dragon has already gone to the shore. When he comes back, he finds that Yunwu is looking at something in a daze. When he wants to open his mouth, his pupils suddenly contract. Just in the blink of an eye, there were several cracks at Yunwu's feet, and they were still spreading. From the cracks, we could feel the hot temperature and the bright red and yellow light. Come back, little thing. Yunwu was just about to see what words were on the back of the stone platform when he suddenly heard the cry of Dragon Qingxie. As soon as he turned his head, Yunwu saw the crack under his feet and the scorching heat wave. As soon as Yunwu's face changed, he immediately raised his legs and wanted to run over. However, the speed of the fragile Earth's crust breaking is much faster than the speed of Cloud Dance. The crust behind is constantly breaking and falling. Following the pace of Cloud Dance, it's like a race against death. Dragon Qingxie's breath is gradually tight. He looks at Yunwu getting closer and closer and reaches out his hand to hold Yunwu. The crust in front of Yunwu collapses first, and the heat wave covers the surface. In desperation, Yunwu can only strive to jump, only to see if the god of luck can care for her, so that she can jump to the dragon's side. At that moment, in the eyes of Long Qingxie and Yunwu, it was just like slow motion. All the details were slowed down and expanded countless times, including a figure suddenly rushing out from behind Long Qingxie. The pupil of Cloud Dance constricts, looking at that person who appears suddenly. It is Lien Sun, whose face has been corroded for the most part. No, this man is dead. Cloud Dance clearly see Lien Sun's face bloodstained and empty dilated pupil, and that slightly white lips all prove that now Lien Sun is just a corpse, just the greed in that pair of eyes. But it is familiar. Subconsciously, Yunwu thought of the monster she saw on the way. Is it the one in front of you? There is no time to think about it. When Long Qingxie has touched Yunwu's fingertips, the figure also bumps into Yunwu's body and makes a familiar hiss. Then, Long Qingxie just watched Cloud Dance break away from the scope he could grasp, but also see the cloud finally made the mouth go. The body suddenly falls, stays in the dragon to pour in the evil line of sight, falls and may melt all in the molten slurry. Even a trace smoke has not floated out, so disappeared. Little thing. Long Qingxie's pupils dilated, and the filaments in his eyes almost instantly congested at this moment. He couldn't believe that Yunwu just fell in front of him. At this time, the earth at the foot of turbulence again. Long Qingxie did not keep his balance and let his body fall back. The last scene in front of my eyes is the thick smoke before the eruption, followed by a burst of darkness, and the pain of tearing my heart. When Long Qingxie wakes up again, his eyes are no longer like the ruins. The blue sky and white clouds, the leaves fluttering with the wind, and the soft and fresh touch under the body make the dragon return to the spirit slowly. Sitting up, Long Qingxie subconsciously turns his head and looks at Jinbao, who is curled up to sleep, with tears in the corner of his eyes. Looking around, this location is not far from the site. Kimbo brought him out? But what about Cloud Dance? In front of his eyes, the scene of clouds dancing down the lava suddenly flashed. The bottom of Long Qingxie's heart was tightly pulled up. His eyes became more gloomy. His eyes were dark with scarlet color, and his breath was closely followed by some restlessness. But at this time, around suddenly came the voice of a few unlucky ghosts. He's right in front. Kill him with me. The sound of footsteps approached, and the dragon didn't move at all, but the black air on his body became more and more thick. Maybe it's just that the leader was overjoyed that he had not been on guard against the evil dragon. He was so lucky that he was hurt by the evil dragon. At this time, it seems that Long Qingxie is really injured. There are bloodstains and scars everywhere. He is a bit ragged and has some bruises on his face. However, in fact, he is real now. Great. The black air burst out suddenly, forming sharp spikes. Before the weapons of those enthusiastic people touched the dragon's body, the body was suddenly pierced by the spikes formed by the black air. Cough! Air you! The man's eyes widened and saw that his blood was being transported to Dragon Qingxie's body along with the black thing. His body twitched slightly, his head tilted, and there was no sound. Long Qingxie looked back at those people and saw that they were scarlet, as if they were killing gods. Take back the black gas on oneself. Let those 3 or 4 shriveled corpses fall on the ground. Long Qingxie's expressionless face bent down to pick up the sleeping treasure and walked step by step in the opposite direction of the site. It's so hot, pain a burning like exposure to fire in general, the face of the feeling more intense, but also like being hit like bursts of tingling. It seemed that there was a strange energy in her body, which collided left and right. It was still stinging and burning. It seemed that she was willing to give up until she died. Cloud Dance wasted a lot of strength to open. In front of the bright, Letter can't help but squint to see in front of what is flowing slowly. I saw that the burning orange light also mixed with a lot of gravel, and the place she was in seemed to be separated by something. Her sight turned slightly, and a red figure was constantly huffing and puffing beside her. Fire Unicorn? Cloud Dance is surprised to make a sound. Wachilin looks back at her and starts to swallow the fire element repeatedly. And Yunwu looks at the scroll in her hand and can clearly feel the energy fluctuation from above weight. There is a surprise in Yunwu's eyes. After carefully feeling her body, she finds that the barrier from the branch has been swallowed up by the fire element, and her original power of the element is becoming more and more solid with the blessing of the fire element. This time, I really don't know if it's a blessing in disguise. Seeing that the white light was still trying to fight back, Yunwu temporarily put away a lot of thoughts and practiced in silence. The rich and pure fire elements slowly gathered to her through the barrier, and the white light in her body has become weaker and weaker. It's just that during the period of Cloud Dance's meditation practice, the dragon is crazy. In a short period of half a month, the 3 divisions of the longevity gate around the site were destroyed, and countless disciples and elders were killed. Under the baptism of blood, the cultivation of Dragon Qingxie is also on the rise. In the twinkling of an eye, he is on the verge of breaking through. The killing breath on his body is not reduced, and his eyes are red and bleeding, which makes people scared. It's clear that the dragon is about to turn the devil. Jinbao has been taken with him all the time. Only when the surroundings are calm can Long Qingxie look at Jinbao, who has been sleeping, and his eyes will be warm. But as soon as he looked up, it turned into a killing that could destroy heaven and earth. What's the use of staying in the world without Cloud Dance? Whenever he thought of the moment when the Cloud Dancing figure was annihilated, Long Qingxie always had this idea. But he struggled to live, looking forward to one day. Maybe he would suddenly see that strange little thing appear in front of him. Come on, tell the Lord that here comes the dragon. This is the 4th assignment. Long Qingxie estimates it in his heart, and then hugs the treasure in his arms. Several attacks from the sky all fell on Long Qingxie, but he remained motionless, and the black breath behind him soared, just like when he just woke up that day, turning into sharp thorns to harvest his life. No matter how many times he was cut or stabbed, Long Qingxie seemed to have no feeling at all. He just waved his sword with no expression and continued to reap life with the black air behind him. This kind of non-lethal play makes Long Qingxie become a madman directly. At night, Long Qingxie jumps down from the tree where he is resting and walks across the corpses all over the ground without expression. When I got to the door, I saw a group of people from the 5-Star Club and the Longevity Gate. Dragon, you have committed many evils and killed countless of our disciples. Today I will get rid of them for the people. Good looks. After Long Qingxie sneered in his heart, he raised his eyes and looked at the man without expression. His red eyes were a bit crazy and cold. Let's die together. Simple 5 words, but it is naked contempt. The leader's face was so white that he didn't know what to say. He roared and rushed up with his sword. The people behind him followed him closely. Long Qingxie, you are looking for death at all. When a sharp sword was set on Long Qingxie's shoulder, Long Qingxie heard such a sarcastic voice, but he suddenly grinned. Yeah, he's looking for death. The momentum on the body suddenly expanded a bit, and suddenly the soaring momentum shocked the people around. The dragon with wounds all over his body chuckles. It's really good to feel full of power in his body, especially when he's dying. He broke through? I don't know who suddenly yelled so, and there was panic around. This man is a monster. This situation can be broken through. Kill him while he's still unstable. The patriarch suddenly realized that now is the best chance to kill the dragon. At the moment, I don't care how embarrassed I am now. If I can't solve the problem thoroughly today, I will be in endless trouble. Long Qingxie, go to die. The wind blade comes straight at the forehead of Dragon Qingxie, but the Dragon Qingxie doesn't mean to escape. The wind blade is dark blue. It's the joint force of the 3 patriarchs. Everyone's breathing is nervous, waiting for the scene that the weak barrier of dragon's evil spirit is crushed, and then the head is cut off. Before the body of the wind blade arrived, the strong wind had already crushed the outside of the dragon's evil barrier. In a second or two, everyone will want to see the scene. The dragon still looks straight ahead and does not move. How dare you all move my men? Have you discussed with me? A clear female voice, followed by a more solid barrier, suddenly stands in front of the dragon, offsetting with the wind blade. Looking at the woman suddenly appeared in front of him. Although his face was half-masked, his eyes suddenly turned red and his lips trembled. It's only after half a sound that you spit out 3 words, little thing. Well, I'm back. Under the mask, Yunwu smiles brightly. He pats the Jinling around him. After taking it back, he calls Lan Yu out and gives orders. These people are the ones you used to practice tonight. Lan Yu, stretch your muscles and bones. Leaving a smile of unknown meaning, Yunwu turns around and takes Long Qingxie by the hand. It seems that he is going into his backyard and turns a blind eye to the corpse on the ground. He finds a clean room to go in and sits down. Little thing, you. Long Qingxie's blood was completely absorbed, leaving only the unhealed, more serious wounds and clothes torn. Looking at the appearance of Cloud Dance, I still can't react. Maybe it's because of the map of the temple that I didn't die, and with the essence of fire elements, I restored my accomplishments. When Huiqiling grew up, I continued to restore my accomplishments and made breakthroughs, but the voice of Cloud Dance suddenly fell down, and his fingers stroked his silver mask. But after she came up, she suddenly found the tingling on her cheek and the uneven touch under her fingers. The face covered by this half-mask was almost completely destroyed. Dragon Qingxie looks at the action of Cloud Dance, vaguely understand. Sitting beside Yunwu, a pair of blood-red eyes lock Yunwu's eyes. Slender fingers buckle on the edge of the mask, eyes with inquiry. Cloud Dance originally wanted to refuse, don't know what to think of. Suddenly clenched 5 fingers, closed eyes. With the cold touch on his face, Yunwu's heart also missed a beat. To tell you the truth, he was worried about the strange eyes of men. However, in the Cloud Dance uneasy time, it is a pair of warm hands holding his cheek, with a smiling voice. That's fine. You don't have to worry about being robbed by others. For a moment, Yunwu didn't recall the meaning of Long Qingxie's words. After a moment, he opened his eyes and looked at what Long Qingxie wanted to say, but he didn't know what he could say. The tenderness in Long Qingxie's eyes was not at all false, as if he was the most beautiful treasure in the world. Cloud Dance lunged for a moment, looking at the dragon poor evil. 2 people suddenly look at each other and smile. The red halo outside soon ends, and Yunwu follows Long Qingxie away, and Wanshou Gate, a branch thousands of miles away. These 2 people are deceiving people too much. The old man with white hair slapped the table angrily, and the anger in his eyes was obvious. Although he seemed to be in his prime of life, the brilliance in his eyes could not be ignored. Sect leader, Yunwu suddenly died and came back to life. It's strange. This man can't stay. Another young man's face is full of worry. The old man stares at the image in front of him for a long time. At last, he waves his sleeve and gives a cold hum. Give me an order at once. Immediately open the next 7 pursuit orders, Cloud Dance and Dragon Poor Evil. No one left. The so-called order of pursuing and killing is that each one is more powerful than the other. There are few people who have been sent to the next 7, and most of them die in the second way. He really didn't believe it. These 2 guys are so powerful. If these 7 orders can't help them, the Longevity Gate and the 5-Star Club should give up. Under the blue sky, the bloody smell of that night seems to have been covered up. Qingyong City, 2 white figures arrived, looking at no abnormal crowd, their eyes deep. I don't want us to go back. The Cloud Dance's cold to hum a. The corner of the mouth spreads the cool radiant. How many doglegs of Wuxinghui and Wanwoman are involved in seemingly no different crowd? This time, they really want to root out. They're in the dark. What if we're in the light? Dragon Qingxie's mouth is full of smile, looking at Cloud Dance, picking eyebrows slightly. Cloud Dance glanced at Dragon Qing, evil one eye. The radiant of the corner of the mouth is fine on. Who knows her? Ben Qing. They disappeared at the gate of the city. When they left, Yunwu deliberately brushed their sleeves. Several people who were constantly on the alert in the crowd seemed to feel a touch of abnormality. Their eyes suddenly became sharp. After a while, they found nothing. A few quarters of an hour later, Qingyong was under the city. Who are you? A man in a white robe stopped 2 people in a hurry. My wife has an infectious disease, and her skin is festering. She's going to find an antidote. Infectious diseases? A slightly suspicious voice rang out. At the same second, he pulled up the woman's veil and acted rudely. This pull caused a great stir. A perfect outline is a white to outrageous face like a white doll's face, in addition to a pair of smart black eyes, and if the big black eye, that white face of horror. If you look carefully, you can see that the white powder is still flying in the wind. No one will doubt that she painted it to cover her face, because with the white powder, there are fish scale faces. What kind of infectious disease is this? The white-robed man looked at the skin on the woman's face in horror. He was so scared that he threw down his veil and stepped back. As soon as the man said this, the passers-by also stopped to watch the excitement. Whenever someone saw Yunwoo's face, the look of surprise on his face was no less than that of the man. With her present face, it's disgusting not to have plastic surgery. Not to mention that she's dressed up, it's no exaggeration to say that it's just a matter of time. Anything that takes up my skin can infect me. This little brother wants to try and feel it. Cloud Dance Mouse Smile Yang. I do not know whether intentionally or unintentionally pulled the face of the skin, while a few pieces of dry coke cracked skin like fish scales generally fell down. Breeze is not big. Just can clearly see the residual skin flying in front of you. I seem to have seen this infectious disease. This isn't that 100 flowers. It seems that it is Baiwa. A few decades ago, the woman was infected with Baiwa and her skin festered and finally disappeared. For a time, there were more and more onlookers and fewer people were close to them, including the 5-star club dogleg. The cloud dances to hang the mouth dark to glance. Looking at more and more distant crowd, the radiant of the corner of the mouth is bigger and bigger. Brother, you can feel it. Cloud Dance said and walked toward the man 2 steps. The man followed back 2 steps. At the moment, the man's face has been pale. Onlooker's words, in his heart, aroused thousands of waves. I'm sorry, my wife is not in good spirits. Dragon Ching Evil a circle cloud dance of thin waist. No longer look at any one eye. Volley drag away. You are not in good spirits. Cloud dance nest and Dragon Ching evil arms. Sullen a sink. Free a hand twisted to his strong waist. People's sympathetic eyes watched the two leave, including the 5-star club and the Beast Gate, who were searching their whereabouts. A group of long-eyed and panting. Sound of Chin Yu. Don't know where to come out such a sentence. All of them looked at each other and doubted each other. In the quiet street, the walls on both sides are covered with moss, and the vines are twining above. It looks like something ancient. Find a place to live first. Cloud Dance raised eyes to see a dragon to incline evil way. Long Ching Xie Chimu a smile, and for husband thought of together. Just for husband know a place, no one disturb our rest. The cloud dances white as one eye. The eyes are a little cold. Through the long and narrow street, the cloud dance can feel the taste of the array. My mind can't help but condense. Is there any array here? The next second, Long Qingxie gave her a mysterious smile, took her hand, and walked directly into a wall. Not only the array, but also the border. Wall boundary. In the moment of passing through the wall, the clouds suddenly felt a powerful hurricane suddenly hit. The two people circled inside. In a moment, I was dazzled. I couldn't see anything clearly. I could only vaguely feel the powerful whirlpool of the hurricane. A moment later, the hurricane stopped. Looking at the scene in front of her eyes were shocked. In front of you is a mansion in the lake, with lotus leaves and flowers blooming. The mansion is located in the middle of the lake. Across the border, it was such a strange sight. Cloud Dance suspiciously looks to the dragon to pour evil, double eyebrow Tiny Siu. How do you know this place? This is not the human world. She doesn't think his power has extended to the upper world. Dragon Ching evil mouth slightly deep meaning slightly a hook. Looking at the distant mansion, eyes dark, a flash is gone. Low eyes looking at the cloud dance evil spirit way. Is not more love for husband? Cloud Dance's eyes passed a trace of displeasure, and every time he answered the questions he didn't want to answer in this way. I'll let you say it. Cloud Dance frowned and roared. She doesn't want to keep everything from him. Even if it turns out to be for her good, it won't work. The smile of Dragon Ching Xie's mouth was slightly stiff, and the smile of his eyes was deeper. It was sent by a friend. What friend? Cloud Dance, the Mao son of Sun Han, looks at him. Upper Bound still has his friend in? Long Qingxie looks at the distance, and his eyes are cut off by the unfathomable light. A friend you've never met is a friend to you? Long Qing evil after a long time to take back the eyes. The evil spirit of Chaoyun Dance picks sword eyebrows. I'd like to meet your friend. The next second, the black flame broadsword suddenly attacked. The black figure leaped up in the air. The powerful power circled and scattered, and directly attacked the residence sealed by the spirit mask. At that moment, the smart power of the smart power cover vibrated, and the vast air was filled with red because of the change of color of the empty and agile figure. Bang! The huge spiritual impact, like notes, gradually spread wave after wave, impacting the trees around the lake. The water in the lake rippled, trembled for a few moments, and soon returned to calm. Yunwu falls in front of the residence door and looks at the residence with some depression. He thought it would be a powerful spiritual mask, but as soon as he gets close, he feels the weakness of the spiritual mask. Black Flame Broadsword was used to deal with it, and Ox Knife was used to kill chicken after opening the aura. This mansion is no different from a normal one. It's just a vague feeling that every brick and tile of the mansion is extremely transparent, white and red and crystalline white, like a layer of dense surrounding. After entering the residence, Yunwu had a sigh about the delicacy and wonder of the residence. All over the courtyard, the white lotus flowers rush into the tip of the nose, and the vines are all around. Whether it's the corridor or the room, it's all made of puyu, which is extremely dazzling and bright. Looking at the world, luxury, style. What a loser. The cloud dances. The fine awn of the eye ground emerges. The corner of the mouth sweeps up a smile that seems to have nothing. Is this mansion worth a lot of money? Long Qingxie looks at the smile on the corner of her mouth, and a trace of helplessness passes through her eyes. This little thing, there's no one here. Cloud Dance, slightly frown. The smile of the corner of the mouth is very cool. Just now, she explored it with her mental strength, and found that there was no abnormality, no trace of anyone living here, as if it was specially prepared for Dragon's evil. And the psychic mask just serves as an isolation. Long Qingxie nodded, with a smile in his mouth, looked at Xiangyun Dance and said, "Is no one better?" Cloud Dance stares at him. Just wait for her to say what. The body's suddenly center of gravity a topple. The whole person has been carried up by the dragon's slant, evil horizontal. "Put me down!" Cloud Dance roars sullenly. The voice of Long Qingxia's enchantment spread in her ear. "Little thing, you are really right and wrong." He glanced at her arm around his neck with a slightly hoarse smile. Cloud Dance face brush a red, twinkling of an eye namely die. Afterward Star Mao is glaring at Long Qing evil. Anger rubs, however. The strength on the arm has never relaxed a minute. Her tight circle is just for her own safety, but it has become the right and wrong in his mouth suddenly. The expressions on the two faces were all in a daze, and the anger and smile at the bottom of their eyes gradually darkened a lot. At that moment, they felt an unusual breath, a breath that didn't belong to them. "Put me down." Cloud Dance eyes a cold, eye ground vigilance tasteful. The breath was calm and gentle, and she didn't feel any sense of killing or fluctuation, but it made her feel a bit strange and unusual. Just like a chain reaction, the smile in the eyes of Dragon Qing Xie faded a little, put down the Cloud Dance, and looked lazily, but dangerously not far away. "Do you show up, or do I show up for you?" Just 1 second after his voice fell, a thin and handsome figure appeared not far away. The man was wearing a blue robe, which covered his face. The strange red eyes under the robe could be seen. Xiaomu? The chill of Cloud Dance's eyes suddenly became stiff and gradually faded into doubts and doubts. This man is really like a ghost, everywhere. What are you doing here? Cloud Dance looks at Xiao Mu slowly coming, frowning slightly. His manner was elegant, with the natural purity and indifference, but it made people feel so ethereal. as if it didn't exist at all. Thorough corner of the mouth, pull out a touch of radiant, but feels so strange. Come to see you, friend. Cloud dance face a cold. Sun cool voice like frost. Follow me? I followed him. Xiaomu pointed to the dragon, and the light in his red eyes was more colorful, just like a pool of flowing blood. I've been playing with you all the way, and it's time to pay for it. Dragon Qing, evil mouth a yong, the smile in black eyes, but bloodthirsty people cold. Suddenly, a crystal appeared in his hand, just like a modern chip. He looked at the thing wickedly for a moment, and the dragon threw it to Xiaomu. Cloud dance eyes suddenly a cold. Originally, he is to rely on that thing to track them? That's it. I should have killed you. Cloud dance glances at Xiaomu with cold tone. But if a friend doesn't kill me, it means he won't kill me, right? Xiaomu pure smile more than a child like Jingran. But in the face of pure jade, it is still so strange. Cloud dance slightly droops the eye sun. The meditation of the fundus of the eye flash but pass, cool way, before I have not changed an idea, disappear. His whole person is strange. The things he does are strange, the strange things he appears. Such a dangerous person who doesn't know anything about it makes her feel uncontrollable. She doesn't like things she can't control. For uncontrollable things, there are only two attitudes, either no intersection or full control. Inadvertently, she caught a glimpse of the evil smile of the dragon. Her eyes flashed and her mouth twitched. Except for him, friend, do you really want me to leave? Don't you want to know about the witches? Xiaomu's stiff face pulled slightly and made a surprised expression. The cloud dances the eye ground to flit past a touch of surprised, cold glance Xiao would. The vision has doubt and shock. He knows who she is. Isn't her identity known only by Beast Gate and 5 stars? Silence, speechless, dazzling. In their eyes, the airflow suddenly decreased, which seemed to condense their doubts and meditation in each other's eyes. In the quiet mansion, except for the shallow sound of lotus frolicking, it was completely enclosed in the atmosphere of 3 people. After a long time, what do you know? Yunwu looks at Xiaomu and thinks a little. Since he knew what she might not know, it aroused her interest. Xiaomu's mouth suddenly raised, and he seemed to guess that Cloud Dance would be interested. You don't know what I know, many. Xiaomu's red eyes swept the splendor, and the scarlet blood under his eyes flowed more quickly. If a friend wants to know, it's okay, but if a friend wants to help me, I can tell him. Cloud Dance mouth corner sneer deepens. A verbal chip. Do you think I can promise? Then deepen the chips. If a friend wants to enter the headquarters of the Beast Gate, he needs to collect 5 natural elements. Without those 5 elements, even the divine summoner can't enter. Do you want to know which 5 elements are there? The blue robe covered his red eyes. Yunwu could not see his expression at the moment, but could clearly hear the temptation and smile in his voice. Cloud Dance micro frown, eyebrow sharp. He is gambling with her? Well, he won the bet. He just said that without the 5 elements, the divine summoner can't enter. The cloud dances, the lips are tight, and the eyes are cold. So, the place where she rescued Shangwan is not the headquarters of Wanwoman? Is Shangwan's father the leader of the beast sect? She felt vaguely in her heart that it was still a long way to go to solve the truth of the witches and evil families, say the terms. The clouds dance coldly. There's a green town 100 miles south of Qingyong City. Go there and help me find a scar old man. Cloud dance tiny pick eyebrow to glance at Xiao with one eye. Indifference voice and clip a silk to query. Is this information? Not to mention that Qingqing town is a town. Even if it is a village, it is too wide to find an old man's scar. Isn't it? Does she know if it's black-bearded, white-bearded, hairy, or bald? Xiaomu gave her a nod. According to the time, he should be about 85 years old this year. Good luck, my friend. At the end of the speech, the blue figure has disappeared, leaving only a residual shadow in the air. Yunwu looks at the shadow in the air and frowns slightly. Does he really know nothing about martial arts? What about the speed? You feel familiar, don't you? Cloud Dance lifted her eyes and looked at the dragon. There was a trace of complexity in her eyes. Long Qingxia smile. The fundus is deep like pool water. Really feel very familiar. You have feelings, don't you? Cloud Dance can't express any emotion in her eyes. She whispers like asking the dragon for evil or talking to herself. Long Qingxia put away his unfathomable eyes and raised his smile at the corner of his mouth. He lifted Cloud Dance into the air again. Evil said with a smile, "No matter what reaction he has, I still think it's better to have you." Shameless. In the quiet pavilion, two figures sit on the ground. The breeze stirred their clothes, which were folded and danced wantonly. No one could see that they were a perfect match for each other. What are the 5 elements? The cloud dances from the dragon to pour evil in the bosom, to slightly lift the Mao Wei. Dragon Qingxia raised a smile, doting on her circle more tightly. Magnetic voice Lo Wei. This kind of thing, for husband how can know? Cloud dance willow eyebrow, a horizontal. The eye Mao some despise of glance at him. Really don't know? She raised a sneer at the corner of her mouth. Just after he heard the 5 elements, the smile at the corner of her mouth became more mysterious. Although it was only a moment, it couldn't escape her eyes. Long Qingxia sighed helplessly and tapped Yunwu's forehead. "Little thing, I still like you a little bit stupid. Isn't it stupid of me to ask you a question now?" Cloud dance mouth slightly a hook, showing a touch of ordinary people in front of a lazy woman never look. Long Qingxia sighed. "This little thing, what are the 5 elements?" The cloud dances the star Mao to pick. The eye ground is full of curiosity. She hasn't come into contact with the Real Beast Gate, but she can imagine how strange and mysterious a place that even the divine summoner can't easily enter. I only know 3 of them: the crystal of Snow Mountain, the tears of Flame Mountain, and the light of ancient times. Dragon Qing, evil sword eyebrow low. Drooping eyes looking at cloud dance evil spirit helpless smile. What does that mean? Yunwu frowned slightly, a little puzzled at the bottom of his eyes. He didn't quite understand the meaning of the 12 words. The most pure crystal of Snow Mountain, the hottest crystal of Yinshan, and a touch of ancient light left over from ancient times. It's very difficult to listen. This is the cloud dance's first emotion after listening to Long Qingxia. The size of the Snow Mountain is extremely cold. Can you imagine that it's easy to find a crystal as big as a fingernail? Can you imagine that it's easy to find a teardrop the size of a button? Not to mention a touch of light left over from ancient times thousands of years ago. Listen, it's a myth. And these are just 3 of them. I don't know what the other 2 are. What we need to do now is to find a scar old man in the vast crowd. The cloud dances with a touch of sadness in her eyebrows. She stares at the blue sky and frowns slightly. The future is dark after a 2-day rest in the residence. They left for Qingqing town on the 3rd day. On the way, they met Shangguan, who left in case of emergency and appeared as promised. After explaining the reasons to him, they decided to go to Qingqing town together. And Shangguan also told Yunwu all the information he knew. It's true that the one who imprisons me is not the family of beasts, and my father is only the deputy leader. Jinling galloped in the air, and the hurricane roared past. With the languid and indifferent voice of Shangguan, it came to the ears of Yunwu and Long Qingxi. If not, it's not the family of beasts. Where is the real beast sect? Have you been there? Cloud dance picks eyebrow to see to go up official. The eye ground doubts flip by. Or in the eyes of outsiders, her question is funny. Shangguan is the son of the deputy leader of the 10,000 Beast sect. How can he not have been to the 10,000 Beast sect? But in the view of Cloud Dance, it's not impossible. Shangguan may not have been to such a mysterious place. Sure enough, Shangguan shrugged his shoulders and shook his head. His eyes passed a chill and said, "I haven't been, but fortunately I haven't, otherwise I won't be able to get out any more." Does the family of beasts come in as soon as they enter and come out as soon as they speak? Yunwu looked at Shangguan's natural and uninhibited eyes. At the moment, he was a little chilly, so he didn't continue to ask. Maybe the origin of the 10,000 Beast sect is a puzzle and unknown to her. But for Shangguan, it may be a topic she never wants to mention. One day, there will be no less people who should pay the price. Cloud Dance stares at the distance. The corners of the mouth are tight, and the cold and gorgeous face outlines a stubborn arc. This is her promise to Shangguan. Shangguan, wanton corner of the mouth slightly a yawn. Smile continued to spread. Small 5. I have always believed that you can make trouble to the sky. Also have always believed that you can be free to look down on everything in the world. Thank you. The cloud dances. The eye ground waves for a moment. Indifferent response. It's not modest, Qingqing Town. It's a town known as the capital of imitation. If you come here to imitate ancient swords, there are all kinds of magic drugs. Only what you can't think of. There's nothing you can't find. At this time, just at noon, the whole town was full of people. Even the peddlers stopped shouting. 3 people together to an inn, ready to eat first. Bang, wow. The sound of heavy objects hitting the table and china breaking. As like as 2 peas. I can't see how necklace you are wearing on your neck. I look familiar with it. How can it be the same as the necklace that I lost yesterday? Half full, bang, a heavyweight knife across the table in front of the 3. The table is not big. There is a heavy knife across the table. Apart from the debris, the whole table can't hold anything else. Cloud Dance glanced at the messy table. The cold light at the bottom of his eyes flashed by, and gave a cold glance at the person who was looking for fault. See clearly? Is it the same? Of course, I can see clearly. It's what I lost. Take it down for me. Otherwise, I won't blame you. The man with the small mouth is not tall and slightly fat. What people remember most is the mole on the tip of the nose, which is particularly eye-catching. Bullying new people again. It's time for such a person to learn a lesson. He's the son of the mayor of the town. He's rich and powerful, and he's surrounded by experts. Who dares to provoke him? The cloud dances to smell speech. The corner of the mouth passes a touch of bloodthirsty smile. The son of the mayor? I'll send it to your door. It's just for use. Put your hand out. If you can catch it, I'll give it to you. Cloud danced toward that man, slightly provocative, slightly pick eyebrows. Good death is to stimulate his young master vanity in general. If not, the man was deceived, bring it. The man stretched out a fat hand and stagnated in the air. Because of the provocative look of Yunwu, his tone became a little irritable and impatient. Cloud Dance glanced at the hand in front of him. The bloodthirsty radiant of the corner of his mouth was raised. Under the veil, the perfect face was as cold as ice. Ah! A scream rang through the inn. Then there was a crisp sound of dislocated arms. Oh, young man, can you hold the necklace even if you look like this? Cloud Dance sneers at Jia Yunan, who is in agony. There is a trace of irony in his words. When all of you saw this scene, they all looked at each other, and their eyes were suddenly shocked. Her speed is too fast. As soon as I saw a residual shadow, the man's arm was dislocated. Who the hell is she? Since you have come to Qingqing Town, don't you know the little overlord of Qingqing Town? I dare to take off my arm. Jia Yunan's face was slightly pale. His whole body was shaking slightly, and the corners of his mouth had begun to turn purple. Cloud Dance takes back her sight with a cold hum, but her mental power is put on the 2 people who have been hiding in the crowd. The talent of blue rank is one in the early stage and one in the middle stage of Wuzuan. Is it all about protecting this punk kid? Yunwu smiles and thinks. It seems that the mayor of Qingqing Town should have some skills, but how can he teach such a bear-like son? Hiss if you don't kill her, come on! Hiss! Jiayu south back a few steps, pointing to the clouds. Hissing pain of loud roar. Suddenly, in the next second, 2 strong grass breaths suddenly came. Oh, this wine is terrible. The Shangguan looked at the wine in his glass and shook his head complaining. Without waiting for the cloud dance, a clear and strong smell diffused and scattered, hitting the rolling grass and trees in a parabola. The 2 collided, and they even reached each other in a strange way. Not only the crowd watching, but also the two men of Wuzuan level were slightly stunned. Strong full of what elements attack, was such a drink offset? Who is this man? What are you doing? Kill all three of them. Jia Yunan was so angry that he wanted to save face. Of course, he couldn't see the strange strike just now. In his anger, he also included the dragon Qingxie, who had been silent and just smiling. Long Qingxie's sword eyebrow lowered, and his black eyes looked at Jia Yunan with a smile. I'm just a table player, innocent. Cloud Dance forehead of black, tiny lift Mao white he one eye. Innocent? Thank you for your 3 parts. After that, the two men looked at each other. In addition to the horror, there was a little hesitation in their eyes. The next second, the silver light of the long sword flashed in their hands, and their figures swept away. They came to the clouds like magic. For a moment, the atmosphere of the whole and suddenly condensed and became serious, and the innkeeper just looked at the counter with a sigh. It seemed that he was used to it. Cloud Dance sneers, takes the tea in front of him, sips it, and pays no attention to the two people who are attacked by the hurricane. Just at the moment when the sword was waved, a sharp light swept by. The sword stopped at 1 meter above Yunwu's head and could not move a point. Bang! The huge impact exploded in the inn. 2 figures with the shockwave, with a mess, instantly flew out of the inn. At the moment, all the people gathered in a safe corner. They all had martial arts skills. It was no problem to avoid the aftereffects of the attack. Besides, Yunwu controls the strength and won't hurt the innocent. Everyone looked as if nothing had happened, still sipping tea of Cloud Dance, fundus of surprise, instant surge. Who the hell is she? 2 people of Wuzuan level, was it just like that? One side of the Shangguan, posture lazy still fill the stomach. Eyes have been Piao Cloud Dance battle. See Cloud Dance didn't move, beat 2 people fly, mumbled to say a few what, meaning probably is solved too fast, didn't see head. Long Qingxie then twists his fingers and flicks the dust on the white robe. He looks like he's calm and self-confident. His lips are full of evil. Chao Yun dances with a flattering eye. On the other hand, Jia Yunan, who had been hissing and howling in pain, saw this scene and was in a state of stupefaction. Looking at the 2 human shapes on the wall of the inn, his mouth was open in surprise. Yunwu glanced at Jia Yunan coldly, put the half-steamed bread left by Shangguan into his mouth, stood up and glanced at the leisurely 2 people. Let's go. Dragon tilts evil spirit to smile, tiny jaw head nods. Where to? Shangguan took a glance at Yunwu, and a trace of satisfaction passed by his eyes. Finally, he had enough to eat and drink. Delivery. Cloud dances cold to Hame. The lip cape sneer raises. Glanced at a superior officer one eye. The 2 guys outside give you. Why me? What does he do? The languid posture of Shangguan immediately subsided, and he stood up and pointed to the dragon and roared miserably. Cloud Dance hears speech to slightly drop Mao to ponder, then in different way, which have bully own person. People fall to the ground. Shangguan mouth suddenly a draw. Small 5. Calculate you ruthless. Long Qingxie looks at Shangguan, who has disappeared outside the human body wall. The smile under his eyes is as warm as spring flowers in March. Little thing, my husband is more and more satisfied with you. Deliver the goods. Cloud Dance will Jiu south to Long Qingxie. A turn disappeared in the indoor. Although across the veil, the flush on her cheek still couldn't escape the dragon's evil eyes. The corners of the lips are full of evil. The charming smile captures all living beings, and the evil face is perfectly outlined in the rising sun, dazzling like a god. This little thing, he dropped his eyes and murmured. 10 miles away from Qingqing town, Jia's house. What did you say? The young master has been beaten? A very angry, low roar rang out. Back to the master it's. What are you doing back then? Jia Qingchun canthus a stare. Fundus anger rub ran visible. Don't go to the young master back, the man to me back. Yes, don't bother. The young master has sent it back to you. Cold as Qingchuan's voice, A cool and handsome figure appeared in front of Jia Qingshun. When he saw the half-dead Jia Yunan in Yunwu's hand, the love in his eyes flashed into anger. "Who the hell are you?" Cloud danced, lips quietly micro-hook, eyes as a pair of very puzzled looking at Jia Qingshun, stretch out white fingers pointing to Jia Yunan. "Don't you see that? Help me, benefactor. Dad, help me. Jia Qingshun smells speech, face red, green moment, iron green. The first to put the children, what is a good discussion? Jia Yunan is the only route he has ever been looking forward to. If there's something wrong with him, he'll be out of business. Knowing that Yun Dance hasn't moved, he'll fight the two men who protect him. How can he be more cautious?" You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.